Sheffield Steelers are undefeated in this season's Challenge Cup, and they face a Cardiff Devils side tonight in an old rivalry which goes back so many years and has ignited in the cup competition as well. Cardiff Devils against Sheffield Steelers, live on IceTime.TV. The Steelers hammered the Devils a week ago 6-2, but there's one side playing with the belief side that's top of the Elite League standings, the Cardiff Devils. Alan Lloyd alongside John Donovan here for what should be perhaps an interesting and emotional night of Challenge Cup action.
Good evening, Alan. Good evening, everybody. Yes, it is going to be a highly charged atmosphere, particularly a highly charged first period. And for the Sheffield Steelers, they are favourites coming in here tonight. They have the 4-goal lead. They did the hard work at Ice Sheffield last week. For the Cardiff Devils, well, of course they have to get on the front foot, Alan. But I think the Devils need to be careful. They don't need to win this game in the first period. They've got to build bit by bit, shift by shift. And if the Devils can be perhaps a couple of goals up going into the last 20 minutes, they've got a platform to build from. So there's so many interesting plot lines. So the Steelers just play trap and defend. Does that invite the Devils on? Are the Devils too gung-ho going with this home crowd to begin with? I think we're going to have a fascinating game, particularly a fascinating first 20 minutes.
We apologise, I'm not sure whether you can or can't hear us at home. We're having some technical difficulties with the sound at the moment, but if you can indeed hear us, welcome to Hockey Night in Cardiff as we see the Cardiff Devils take the line. The Steelers, John, perhaps a little bit too far adrift in the league this season, but they've shown some resurgence recently and seem to have found a bit of a stride as well.
Well, the Sheffield Steelers are always good after Christmas. It's just in their DNA, and they have found a stride as we start going down the stretch. I agree, I think they are too far behind in the league, but I asked David Sims a moment ago what would constitute a successful season, and he just said, well, the Sheffield Steelers win trophies, so if they can't win the league, well, then it's the Challenge Cup and it's the defence of their playoff trophy, and the Sheffield Steelers will be all out tonight to make sure that the Challenge Cup final in Cardiff will not include the Cardiff Devils.
Take a look at the Cardiff Devils team sheet here, John. Just take us down this lineup. Looks like Drew Paris is going to go again tonight. Mark Lewis with a bit of an injury.
Yeah, Lewis playing so well, Mark Lewis, but he did pick up that knock. Drew Paris slips back in and did a very good job coming back off the injured reserve in Belfast on the weekend. And you can't look past the two big players, or the three big players, Ben Bounds, Andrew Hotham and Joey Martin. If the Cardiff Devils are going to do this tonight, then those three players, supported by the cast, will have to be key for the Cardiff Devils.
Talk about Ben Bounds and Irvin Bustakovs as well. The Steelers net. Bustakovs has been superb form recently, a little bit up and down, but when he's playing well, he's playing very, very well. He did so in the first leg as well. It's always a big battle between those two.
He was stellar last week, and these are two great netminders. Who's going to outperform who? It's going to be very interesting. We'll obviously come back to that point after the national anthem.
2.22 goals against average, 0.929 save percentage. Ben Bounds' stats are down there because the Devils haven't gone particularly well, particularly in the group stage of that Challenge Cup action. 3.24 goals against, not helped of course by conceding 6 up in Sheffield a week ago and under 90% save percentage. But really we look more at the league stats, I think, at this point in the season, John, because that perhaps tells a stronger tale. But you've got to admire the Steelers' record in the Challenge Cup so far this year.
You have to, and you have to admire what they did last Wednesday night, Sheffield, particularly the fact they've got a depleted lineup and have had a depleted lineup for quite some time. So perhaps knowing that they are a little too far adrift in the title race, they went out all guns blazing against the Devils last weekend and really shell-shocked the Devils. And of course this crowd and this Devils management team and coaching staff hope, but 4 goals is 4 goals. So certainly the Sheffield Steelers are favourites right now.
We just apologise again if we sound like we're shouting at you at home. We're getting no sound in our ears here, so we're trying to speak and hear each other over this loud crowd here in Ice Arena Wales. Another packed house. Aled Lloyd alongside John Donovan for this Challenge Cup second leg action. Here we go, underway. Devils get the puck into the zone, having to go back and pick that up. Sheffield Steelers, but Matt Pope gets a hold of it, and out come the Steelers at pace. Tim Wallace, the ex-NHLer, goes around Andrew Hoffman, the Devils' leading defensive. Mark Richardson makes a nice play there, and out of the zone they'll come now with a nice lead pass from Hoffman, and they move the puck quickly. Fast start needed if Cardiff are going to find a way from 4 goals down in this one, John.
You're absolutely right, Al. A fast start, but a controlled start is needed for the Cardiff Devils. As I mentioned in the pre-game, the Devils can't go gung-ho and try and win this or wipe out the deficit in the first period. So they really need to have a controlled approach to this, just little by little, shift by shift. But the Steelers then certainly came out, and Wallace made a nice play gaining the zone. So it looks like the Steelers aren't planning on sitting back and just playing that neutral zone trap.
Yeah, they've got a big lead to defend. You blasted in there from Matthew Warr and a hat-trick in that loss in the end, that surprise loss to Manchester Storm. But here's Ben O'Connor, leads them with Mark Matheson on the back end in points. Lethal there on the back end they are. And O'Connor goes out with his regular partner Davy Phillips there. Gleason Fournier puts that in for Jake Morissette. Nice trailer from Strachan, who shoots, and it was a weak shot wide, didn't trouble Mustakovs. Lane almost in a board battle. That was a good takeaway play though from Andreas Valdix, who joins the rush now. Fitzgerald tries to catch Bounds. It crept right across the line. My goodness, what a blow that would have been for the Devils. Heads up play though. It stayed out of the Devils' net somehow. Now they go again. Still less than a minute and a half gone in this one. Scott Arson gets rid of the puck, takes a bump from Sean Bentivolio. Out it goes. Icing is the call.
Well, I wonder whether Paul Thompson is going to risk a timeout to review this. Perhaps not, but I thought that the puck was going to bank in off Ben Bounce's pad there. It looks like it's gone straight along the goal line, hit the post and come out, but confident start from the Sheffield Steelers, not sitting back, and I'm not sure the Devils players and fans completely know what to expect right now.
Zach Fitzgerald there goes to Scott Arson, and Arson will just set things up. A bit of a miscommunication of Mustakovs. Good thing he was awake there, because that would have been a bit of a disaster early on. Liam Kirk handles the puck now, and he's going to play on this line here with Valdix and Eric Neely, who's going around a point a game for the Sheffield Steelers since coming into the lineup recently. And Kirk getting a big opportunity here on that line for the Sheffield Steelers here, but what a talent he is.
So excited about watching Liam Kirk tonight. The scouts are watching. He could go in the draft. He's going to have to play big minutes tonight.
Nice move from Andrew Hoffman there, who was superb on the Devils' successful weekend in the end against the Belfast Giants. Thrown at the net there, but Mustakovs made a good save. And again, the Steelers get to that puck first to move the puck quickly into the Devils' zone. The Devils are not enjoying the kind of offensive zone dominance they perhaps would have liked to build something here, but Haddad might have a chance in on goal. It's well saved as Mustakovs challenge. Here's Gleason Fournier, through traffic it goes, and it was blocked well out front yet again. That time it was Mark Matheson showing he can get it done at both ends of the ice.
But Joey Haddad had a chance there to put the puck on net and maybe generate a rebound. He looked to make a move and go short side, and I wonder when the Mustakovs As we see a chance break down, Bounds gets a good stick there, but did Mustakos get in the heads of the Devils last weekend? Because Joey Haddad had a better opportunity for a shot, either to score himself or generate a rebound, and he chose to make the extra move, and the chance was really lost.
Steelers having to work in their own end here. The Devils get a turnover with a high forecheck. Crowder goes in on goal, then tumbles on top of Mustakovs, and I'm perhaps surprised not to see a bit more attention paid to Paul Crowder there, and maybe could have been a call on the play as well in today's climate, John.
There perhaps could have been a call for goaltending interference here. Again, maybe the Devils, that's an area of the game they can look to take advantage of. Can they afford to take a few liberties tonight? Because the Steelers are short-benched, and perhaps the Steelers can't respond or react, so maybe the Devils will look to play on that dark side.
Morissette got that one back to Bryce Reddick, who sent it in for Justin Farina, who's going to, you feel, have to have a big impact tonight as Farina, if the Devils are to be successful. That sort of abrasive style that he plays. The Storm had a lot of success, of course, on the weekend, getting bodies to net, and that's something that Farina does oh so well. They got a new line as well, with Jake Morissette joining that line as Haddad has gone up to the big line, but having to work hard in his own zone. There was Tyson Strachan, and the good pressure in the end there from Matt Marquardt, who's come alive a little bit more offensively as well as the season has gone on, and starting to deliver for the Sheffield Steelers, who are missing a number of their top scoring players, of course, in this game tonight. We mustn't forget that Robert Dowd is not out there, such an influential player. Colton Fretter as well. They're missing so many of their leading scorers that's perhaps could develop and be a factor as the game wears on. Like I said, though, look at the way Neely got to the net there.
Well, just to finish on that point, Alan, again, speaking to Dave Sims before the game, John Armstrong, not just for his ability to gain the zone and his size and go to the net, he's also a key face-off man, and you know, of course, the Devils are strong in that area. And then perhaps the man who David Sims says has had the biggest impact in recent weeks, Andreas Yamtin, a bit of a rink rat, a bit of an agitator, and I mean that in a complimentary sense. He would love being out there in the trenches tonight. He's not. The Devils need to take advantage of that.
Yeah, they're missing 3 of their 5 leading goal scorers. We know, of course, what O'Connor and Matheson are doing to create those goal-scoring opportunities with the assists that they're piling up, leading their club. Anyway, it's a chance, though, isn't it, for the likes of Kirk and Valdex in on goal. Arson that time, who can contribute timely offence too in a battle with Andrew Hotham there. Real playoff intensity to this game, and there's going to be a call on the play there as Bendavoli went down a little bit too easily, perhaps.
I got to be honest, I'd give a call on both players there, and certainly Bendavoli, I thought there was a little bit of embellishment. I think Bendavoli realised he was going to make the pass, and being the clever, savvy pro that he is, the stick's in there, so I think you can call hooking. But I'd probably call Bentavolio for embellishment, to be honest. I'd sit both of them, but the Devils won't argue with that. They're going to go on the power play, and this is a big opportunity to start the game on the right foot from their perspective. Yeah, and I think, as we said earlier, probably a bigger indicator of how things might go, given that a lot of Challenge Cup games were played earlier on in the season, is to look at the league information we have. In terms of the power play, the Devils lead the league, but nearly 30%, just 0.4% of 30%, which is astonishing. They go to work here, and they get an early opportunity. Only 5 minutes gone. We've had so much action in this one so far. Gleason Fournier, instrumental for the Devils on the power play, sent it in. Joey Martin is there. Of course, had that overtime winner against Belfast on the Saturday night out there. But that's a good bit of killing from the Steelers, who get rid of the puck there, and they've got a superb penalty kill, number 1 in the league at 86.55%. So it's going to be a big story tonight, that Devils power play against the Steelers penalty kill. And again, Alan, I emphasise it's important for the Devils not to force plays. Yes, they're chasing a 4-goal deficit, but they've got to come into this game with the mentality it's a 60-minute effort and just play their normal game. Right now, you get the feeling on this power play, clutching their sticks a little bit tightly because they feel like they have to make something happen. Yeah, and they've been so productive in first periods of late, John, that you feel if they could just play that way. Fired in from Hotham, wide of the goal. Richardson looks to bank it in, but that was a good play from Davy Phillips in his own end. And the Steelers so far killing superbly with 40 seconds left for the Cardiff Devils to work with on this power play. Good work from Bentavolio. Sets them away at speed on the far side. Patrick Aslin will jump in, but that was
Means that Matthew Myers has got in a battle, and Davy Phillips wins a second battle in his own zone, but then it's given away, and in on goal, backhand try, they score! Matthew Myers missed the Challenge Cup, popped up with a goal early on the power play. The Devils 1-0 on the night.
If it's a Challenge Cup, it's got to be Matthew Myers. Davy Phillips have done very well. In fact, the Sheffield penalty kill have done well, and they were in control of this puck, but Fitzgerald doesn't get the call. I think it's Bentavolio that comes from the blind side and really just robs Fitzgerald of the puck. And Myers, well, on the backhand side, Mustakos almost jams it in between arm and body, but it finds a way to trickle through, and that's a big goal for the Cardiff Devils. I got to say, Al, the Steelers were in control of that penalty kill, and if Fitzgerald had got the puck off his stick there, it would have been an exemplary play, and the Steelers would have killed that penalty. But just that moment delay, credit to Bentavolio for turning over that puck.
It's Myers' second goal of this season's Challenge Cup campaign. We're back 5-on-5, of course, now. Liam Kirk into the zone, gets a nice pass over. Look at that one-touch play. Nearly is in on goal, and indeed does draw the penalty. Valdix is there to pick things up. Sent in against Bryce Reddick. They keep it alive now with the goaltender pulled for the extra skater, and it goes there, jumping onto the ice with Matt Marquardt. They will go to work here 6-on-5 with Mark Matheson there and bring that one out of the zone. This is going to be a long delayed penalty here if they can make it work. Ronberg gets it in there with a nice play, but Aslin gets a hold of it, and the Steelers now will go to the power play.
Al, it's 2 shifts into the game, and I really do think that Liam Kirk is the real deal. For me, I think Andreas Valdix is the best skater on the Sheffield Steelers team. Really enjoyed him last year. I think he could have made more of an impact if it wasn't for injuries. I think his stick handling's good, and he does everything at speed. Well, right now, Liam Kirk's going out on line with him, and he looks completely at home, and he's playing at that same speed. And yeah, I'm really sold on this young British prospect, and Valdix and Kirk are going to be a potent partnership for the Steelers tonight.
Giveaway there from Mark Richardson. You don't see that very often. The Devils won the draw in their own zone. Anyway, Arsenal goes D-to-D with Ben O'Connor marshalling this power play back there. Jonas Vesterling is out there with Eric Neely. Out front is Batuar. In his office, he gets it. Now tip, they score! The Steelers hit back straight away on the power play. Eric Neely ties it up at 1 on the night.
Big goal from the Steelers answering back. Valdix and Kirk got the momentum, and then this power play's nice. The rotation from he just comes into a soft area away from coverage. Neely, who starts on the half boards, then comes to the front of the net. Everyone thinks Wa's going to shoot because he is the sniper, but he goes to the short side, and Neely with a deft finish puts it in. I really like that set power play move from the Sheffield Steelers. The awareness of Wa to come to a soft area. Neely skating his routes, going from the half balls to the net. That's a pretty goal.
First goal in the Challenge Cup for Eric Neely, but he's been superb since coming in league play as well. The Steelers power play, of course, goes well over 23% and is lethal in its own right. The Devils have been killing penalties well recently, but that is a big blow, as you say, to their hopes, John, with the Steelers hitting right back and making it a 4-goal game once again on aggregate. Jonathan Phillips will send that one in. Drew Parrish with a strong play in his own zone there. Sent Levi Nelson down. Joey Martin in, and there's no offside. Martin will look to chase that. Got in a tangle with Phillips. No call on the play, and Matheson will have work to do in his own zone. But Haddad digs away at it. But that's a good coverage play from Levi Nelson there out front, doing some fine work. Tim Wallace now, lead play to Nelson, who will try and create something offensively. Shoots, and wide about. Another try for Nelson, who just has a knack, doesn't he, of finding his way into good positions, and of course popped up with a huge goal in last season's playoff final, a successful playoff final for the Sheffield Steelers against the Cardiff Devils. Sean Bentavolio as we approach the halfway mark in the first period. Ben O'Connor will have to go back, and will take a bump from Bentavolio. No ice is called, so Mark Richardson will have to set things up, but gives it away to O'Connor, and the Steelers right now just looking like they're finding their rhythm.
Well, I'm looking at the Devils, and Sean Bentavolio is playing with a lot of intensity, and really like his style, but some of the Devils, look a little passive right now. Not quite sure how to approach this.
Arson in on bounds, who had to make a sharp save there once again. It was Neely out front causing problems there. The Devils don't quite know how to handle him in and around that net right now. Bentavolio again, but good work from Zach Fitzgerald there just to use the bigger body and take it away from him.
Yeah, this is a game that suits Zach Fitzgerald. He's a defensive defenseman, of course, the man with over 400 AHL games. And even though he's one AHL most penalised player, you suspect he'll play a controlled game tonight, and he's certainly a guy that Paul Thompson will look to key on the back end.
Yeah, he means so much to the Steelers lineup. Here's Joey Martin, who fires in on Mustakov. Another try for Martin. How did he miss in the end? And we saw the magic from Martin, John, but it didn't quite result in a goal that time.
Well, we know how good his hand-eye coordination is. We saw that at Saturday night in Belfast. It's the the third chance I think he'll be a little bit disappointed in. He misses on the backhand coming off the boards, but that puck is relatively flat, and Martin is stopped at the net, and as he looks to get elevation, he goes above the net, but normally you'd have banked on Joey Martin to score there. So great work chasing in his own rebound, but even though the backhand was hard when it initially came off the glass, I think Joey Martin would expect to score from that forehand chance.
Draw one by the Devils, but the Steelers cried them out, but there might be a chance. What a move that is, in on goal. There's a call on the play here. I wonder what we might see here. We're just going to see 2 minutes. I think Justin Farina there was looking for more, John, but looks like it's just going to be a power play.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether his process of shooting was quite impeded. That hook is there before, he's not looking to get a shot off, and I think that's probably the right call. He's maybe looking to make another deke, and I think the hooking call is probably right there. But again, big opportunity for the Cardiff Devils. They gain momentum from that first power play. The Steelers showed character to respond, but this is an opportunity for the Devils to get on the front foot again.
So both sides 1 for 1, of course, on the power play so far. There's Gleason Fournier walking the line. Fournier goes back to Pope with a blast. That's hurt there as well. And they throw, deflect, they score! Lane Ulmer pops up with another power play goal. He makes it 2-1 Devils on the night and cuts the deficit to 3.
Al, I think Neely being hurt here plays a key role. I think it's a great shot block off Pope initially, but Neely is feeling the effects of that, and we'll see it in the replay shortly. But I don't think he closes down the shooting lane quite as well the second time because he's hurt, and certainly don't blame him for that. As a result, Pope is able to get the shot off. It's beautiful hand-eye coordination from Ulmer to deflect it in. Big goal from the Cardiff Devils, but I think the slight injury to Neely there played a huge role in that goal.
Lane Ulmer's second goal of the Challenge Cup, his 12th power play goal overall in the season, though. Here they go again. Morissette steps in, and there's, Davy Phillips was bundled into the goalie there, and now we're going to see a little bit of something as well as the Devils and Steelers renew the kind of hostilities we expect, John.
We do, but that might be an additional. I really think that Farina was going to sit on his own for the reaction, but I think Davy Phillips might just have evened it up with a little bit of a silly play, although you say that in the heat of the moment. Farina wasn't the man who crashed into Mustakovs, but certainly his skating route forced the Sheffield defenseman onto Mustakovs, and then Farina responded and threw a man to the ground, and I suspected he was going to go just for roughing, but we're just going to go 5-on-5 and not say anything. Well, I like that from the referees. They're just saying this is a big game. We're going to let you sort this out 5-on-5, and we're going to call this even.
We had a brief discussion take place between Mike Hicks and Tom Darnell, Ilya Kissel and Danny Beresford on the lines. Our first chance to mention that after all the goings on at the start here, but there we are. What do you think of that, John? I thought it was certainly likely that Farina might sit for 2 initially, but as you say, maybe they just feel like rather than cancel this thing out, let's keep it 5-on-5. Here's Gleason Fournier. Big bump comes in on him going into the zone. Davy Phillips has been a physical presence to start, and look what he sets up. Liam Kirk in a goal. Liam Kirk shoots and saved by Ben Bounds there.
What a save, but Drew Parrish has got to have a better reading of this. He's pressing into a position he doesn't need to press. He's got to know there's a man going in the skating lane. There's two men going in the skating lane behind him. Paris doesn't have to come that narrow. He doesn't have to advance that much. Two guys go in one-on-one with Kirk, with Bounds. I love the confidence of Kirk to take that shot on, but what a glove hand from Bounds to keep the Devils ahead in this game.
There we are. That was not an overly strongly contested draw by Andreas Valdix, but Crowder won it for the Devils, and Morissette goes in. They chip it in on Mustakovs. It handcuffed him a little, and Farina is a real spark plug out there the last couple of shifts.
But Al, that's exactly what I mean by the Devils not forcing the game. I understand Paris' offensive instincts. He's a very skilled player, but he can see Kirk actually skate past him. Kirk is not behind him as the play develops. He skates past him. Paris has got to choose when he pinches. The Devils are 2-1 in front right now. It's only the first period. You don't have to go gung-ho.
Jonathan Phillips, the captain, will bring that one out and just backhand that one into the zone, go around Andrew Hoffam, and now we'll go up against Patrick Asselin. In with a bit of help is Tim Wallace. Waiting patiently is Levi Nelson, and a bit of space for him if the Steelers can free that, but the Devils win the ball battle and will get out of the zone. But Bentavolio gave it up, and Wallace will bring it back in. Nelson gets it back from him now. Levi Nelson looking to make something happen. Backhand try, fine save on the doorstep from Bounds. The puck's still loose. They scramble away at it and get it clear. So much action in front of goal. Scott Arson fakes the shot that time and instead goes over to the far boards and will have it back now. Zach Fitzgerald waits, but there it is for Levi Nelson again. Around to Tim Wallace up against Mark Richardson. Hoffman pinches in to try and win a board battle and does well, but the Devils are camped in their zone right now, and their top defensive pairing having to work hard on their own boards. Patrick Asselin will bring it away and just leave that one. Both sides make some changes. It gets hoisted into the zone, and Andrew Hoffman will try and get off, but I don't think he's going to get a chance here, as he's going to chase that puck down as well. Out there with Tyson Strachan. Lead play for Joey Martin, who picks it up. Devils can go 3-on-2 here if they're quick about it. Martin into the zone. That was good work there by Jonas Ronberg. He's an experienced player playing the top flight of Finnish and Swedish hockey. What a plus that is for Paul Thompson. Have him back, but poke fires, and Mustakovs didn't know anything about it, but his positional play at the top of the crease meant he made the save.
Joey Haddad's responding to be given that role on the top line, more ice time as he did in Belfast. He's being a physical presence out there. He came late. Oh, sorry, he made the nice pass to the Devils player coming late. Good save by Mustakovs.
Look at Martin out front. Just didn't go there, but what a bit of work from Martin to set up Bryce Reddick, and then Ben O'Connor does well. And just, well, it gets caught up in a bit of snow, so it won't go for icing. But Joey Martin is showing why he's the league's best over the last few weeks, John.
Joey Martin is starting to go, but again, I think Joey Haddad going with him. Joey Haddad's often thought of this power forward, the guy who cycles the puck so well. You forget Joey Haddad's also got very good hands, and he can play with a Joey Martin, and those two, along with Matt Pope, started very strongly for the Cardiff Devils.
Jake Morris said around the outside of Liam Kirk. Davey Phillips came in, but it's there for Paul Crowder now. Paul Crowder tries to get away from Andreas Valdix. Valdix with a good bit of work on it, but the stick from Crowder was better, and Morissette had a chance, but Kirk was there to mop up the pieces again and set things up again. Eric Neely back into play, but a good bit of defensive work, that time from Drew Paris. Now Justin Farina into the zone again, and Kirk just seems to have a head on his shoulders much older than the...
He's good. He is very good.
And away they go again at speed now. Levi Nelson tries to dance around Paris, who does a good job on him. And Martin will set things up. Fournier, the Devils icing their big players, getting a lot of time in this first period, and Nelson will get it out now. The Steelers on the rush. What a game we've got here at Ice Arena Wales. Tim Wallace, what a play from him to leave it for Fitzgerald, who winds, fires, still on the doorstep it was for Matt Marquardt, but he couldn't corral the puck. Gleason Fournier cut it out, and now Josh Batch will go and look to use that big body to influence things in the Steelers zone if he can, but Arson just calmed things down well.
Well, for the Steelers, Levi Nelson, always been a huge fan of his. Draft pick of Boston. He's taking hits right now, but he's taking hits to make plays.
Wow, with a good shot there. His confidence in front of goal is really coming good after a bit of a slow start this year. Vesterling fired another try for Marquardt that time. Wow, might have a chance. Kick save Bounds, who's made 2 or 3 dandies here in this first period to keep the Devils at the moment with a lead anyway. Here's Patrick Asselin. Leaves that one off and fired by Richardson. Spilt again, Mustakovs. Hoffman tries a backhand and it goes wide of the net. Andrew Hoffman with room now. Makes a pass instead. Lane Ulmer walks in, hits the post, I think, in the end, or just the outside of it. Here's Andrew Hoffman. Asselin, everybody collapsed in front of Mustakovs. Richardson tries to pull a move, but Wah throws himself on the floor to stop the shot. We've got a delayed call here as Bounds goes to the bench. Chipped inside. Now there's room if they can make it work. And Wah gets there first. Doesn't like the call, but he did a fine bit of defensive work there, but the Devils will go back on the power play.
Well, I think it was that extra stretch by Wah. He did a superb job shutting down Richardson, but as he was on the ice, it looked like Richardson was just going to get a step and go around the wall. And I think Wah just a final sort of stick infraction as we see Ulmer there going for the short side. But for the Steelers, they are getting bodies to the net, which we haven't seen recently with the Cardiff Devils. They've been so good keeping players to the outside. But tonight, because the Devils have to commit and they have to be aggressive, the Steelers are getting joy at getting bodies to the net. It's an enthralling game out.
They win the draw there, the Cardiff Devils, and look to go 3 for 3 on the power play on the night. Stick comes in there. The Steelers are just not looking to sit back either, are they? Throwing bodies forward. They're doing it nearly with a tip there wide of Ben Bounds. He's been so impressive. What an addition to this Sheffield Steelers lineup Eric Neely has been. Now Matt Pope will walk it into the zone. He was given a bit of room there. Pope shoots, and it was high and wide of the glove of Mustakovs, but it just opened up like the parting of the Red Sea there, John.
It did, and with Pope's release, he probably should have done a little bit better there, at least hit the net. But I wouldn't say there's any real pattern to this game. It's kind of, you take the sledgehammer out of goal, and then we'll take it right out of your hands.
Bentivoglio drops it off. Richardson with room, shoots, and in the end it was wide. What a chance that was for Mark Richardson. 1:05 left on the power play. Andrew Hoffman now. The Devils are finding room in the Steelers' offensive zone. Hoffman goes over to the far side there where they try and go to work again. Now Hoffman sends it back in. Asselin with a move, looks to go on the short side there against Mustakovs. Still down and out. This room, they fire. He makes the save, does Mustakovs. The puck is still loose. Vesterling eventually just about scrambles it out of the zone with 35 seconds left on the power play. The Devils are going to go 3 for 3. Richardson gets it in deep to Bentivoglio. Ulmer is out front, and it was there for Patrick Asselin, but it just escaped his stick. And now the Steelers go 2-0 at speed with Fitzgerald into Tim Wallace. Shoots! Big save from Ben Bounds. Then they try, they score! No, they don't. How did he miss? Zach Fitzgerald.
Well, it hit the water bottle. The water bottle came off.
That sold it for me. That was the... here's Joey Haddad. Haddad goes in. Big bump against Davy Phillips. Out front for Paul Crowder. Fournier in on goal. The Steelers have killed one off. Just about.
What a play by Ben O'Connor, though, on the back check. That was a great pass into the high slot area. The Devils are going to have a scoring chance. Great work from O'Connor. Asselin a few moments ago has got to do better at that chance. He lost concentration. The puck got away from him and almost resulted in a goal for the Steelers.
And the Steelers know they can put pressure on the Devils and look for a short-handed goal, but here come the Devils again through Paul Crowder inside the final 2 minutes of the period. Good bump comes in on him there. Sent Crowder flying out front. Doorstop save Mustakovs. They whack away. Fournier shoots and he completely shanked it wide with the net gaping open. Down goes Justin Farina there, and we are going to get a call on the play. The Devils will go back to the power play. 1:20 left of the period.
Well, the momentum is going for the Devils. The crowd is starting to get into this as we see the 2-0 chance the Steelers had, and Wallace does well to stay on side. It's a great save, and then double reaction from Bounds, and then I don't know, that puck defies the law of physics. I think a Conor McDavid goal did a couple of nights ago. I don't know where that puck goes.
Well, I thought it was a goal, John. That water bottle went flying at the right time. But the light didn't go on, and Fitzgerald's reaction says it all. Throwing his eyes to the sky in disbelief. Anyway, they get it out of the zone. They've got another penalty to kill. You feel this is a vital moment in this game if the Devils can establish a 2-goal lead heading into the second, or at least get it during this power play, which will continue over into the next period if there's no goal now. Fournier gets it in. Martin, who's played so many minutes in this first period as the Devils throw the kitchen sink at the Sheffield Steelers. Ulmer gets it back to Pope. Pope blast! Fine save from Mustakovs, and good bit of help for him there from the captain, Jonathan Phillips.
Yeah, a little bit of calmness there, a little bit of presence from Jonathan Phillips. He ran a few more seconds off the clock, but you're right, Joey Martin's having a huge impact on this game.
Now room for Hoffman to walk in. Hoffman pulls a move, shoots, and a good stick there on Andrew Hoffman. That was a fine bit of work from Tim Wallace there to shut down Andrew Hoffman. Out front again, a good stick comes in from Wallace, who's showing his experience here, his veteran leadership up against the Cardiff Devils. 15 seconds left on the period. Chances there now. Fired in. Nobody knows where it is apart from Gleeson Fournier. Bentivolio has it. Fournier looks for a lane. Is being boxed out at the moment. Shoots anyway, and it just goes high and wide off the stick of Wallace. Another chance, and it was there for Bentivolio with a dying moment. Out of nothing after a superb bit of penalty killing from Tim Wallace. But after the first period, it's 2-1 to the Cardiff Devils on the night. The deficit is cut to 3 goals. They'll have 40 seconds of power play time to start the second period.
Well, I think both teams will go down that period, Al, with positives to take. The Devils have, as we see, a little bit of a conference call at the bench with Paul Thompson. And Paul Thompson, we know, and I mean this in a complimentary sense, I really like it. Paul Thompson will try and manage a referee and will try and get calls out of it. And I've got no problem with that at all, but the Devils will take the fact that they have generated a number of chances, they have zone time, and more than anything, they've reduced the deficit after 20 minutes. For the Steelers, well, despite all the momentum the Devils have had and this crowd, the Devils have only reduced the deficit by 1, and the Steelers themselves have had a lot of grade A chances. So I think in both locker rooms right now, there's going to be positivity, and as I said, what an enthralling first period that was, and I suspect this will continue for the next 40 minutes.
I'm not sure we've seen a game like it, John, just the way it was played. You referenced it there late on in that first. There was no structure, there was no nothing. It was just everybody going at it, hammer and tongs, and what a spectacle. We can't expect it every week, but blimey, that was something to watch.
It was. You know, the only thing I'd reference it to is like a boxing match when the two guys go toe-to-toe. It was just, right, we're going to land a couple of punches. If we don't score, you're going to come back and have a couple of punches. And, okay, it might not be slick, smooth ice hockey, but it's fun to watch.
Well, thanks for now, John. We'll be back with you for some highlights of that first period. Maybe we could just stay with you now, because we've probably got 17 minutes worth of highlights, but not quite, I'm being told. So we'll be back with you for those highlights, and then second period action. If it's even half as good, as exciting at least as that first period, we're in for a treat tonight. See you in a bit.
You're going to go head-to-head for about 2.5 minutes with a meal for 4 on the line, courtesy of Domino's Pizza. Can we get that door closed over at the players' bench? Players' bench. There we go. On your marks, get set, go! Chance for White to tie. No. We got about 20 seconds left, folks. Okay, the red team takes this one home 1-0. We're going to need both teams to clear the ice so we can get the Zamboni. But how we give it up for both teams here? Matthew Anger, Katrine, Reese Martin, and Gareth. And the red team is going home with the pizza meal for 4, courtesy of Domino's Pizza. Folks, you've got just over 15 minutes to get your shirt off his back tickets and your 50-50 tickets. Tonight it's Bryce Reddick's game-worn black jersey. You also got one more intermission to get your Chuck-a-Puck. Someone is going to the Challenge Cup final, courtesy of the Cardiff Devils. We hope you're not alone, but we got a long way to go still till then. But the tickets for the Chuck-a-Puck are 2 tickets to the Challenge Cup final. We'll see you in about 15 minutes.
Well, we were just discussing there if there was any possible way to analyse that period in the period break, and we concluded that there probably wasn't, because it was the most astonishing period of hockey we've seen. Aled Lloyd alongside John Donovan here. Cardiff Devils have got a 2-1 lead on the night, 3-goal deficit against the Steelers on aggregate in the Challenge Cup. I'm going to finish my rocky road, and John can talk us through this first set of highlights.
Well, I know who's got the best deal there, and it's certainly not the viewers at home, but yeah, that was just that was intense kind of river hockey, and there wasn't a whole lot of pattern, but there was a whole lot of scoring chances, and that was the first one. And I thought for all the world that was going to bank in off Ben Bounds and give the Steelers an early lead, but it didn't. This is where Haddad, he makes the extra move and really takes his angle away, and also can't shoot for a rebound. And just at this early stage, I felt the Devils were clutching their sticks a little too tight. And that really kind of manifested itself in the first power play, the first minute of the first power play. But as we'll see in a moment, Sean Bentavolio with some sheer hard work turns the puck over, and Matthew Myers gets the first goal. And from there, the Devils seem to relax a little, but the Steelers certainly had chances. That's great work from Bentavolio. And look at that little touch to Myers to keep it in his path. I think Bentavolio deserves a whole lot of credit here. Look at the hit, Al, and then look, he stays with the play and actually feeds it to Myers. There's a little bit of love off the play there from Davy Phillips. But nice backhand goal from who you described, Al, as Mr. Challenge Cup.
Yeah, and I was just doing a double take on the replay there, because it was announced in the build that Sean Bentavolio had scored that goal, which should have been some kind of mystical power needed, I imagine. But that was Eric Neely getting a goal. The Steelers hit straight back on the power play. I've been hugely impressed with him tonight, John.
Absolutely, but this power play is beautiful. The way that Ward takes his normal position in front of the net, but then actually comes out to the soft area, and Neely goes in from the half boards. And you're absolutely right, the man who, lit the lamp a lot for Atlanta in the ECHL a couple of years ago. Completely agree with you. He's looked good. I think Valdix, Kirk has looked good. I always enjoy watching Levi Nelson play. He's such a competitor. And on the Devils side, this guy you're going to see now, Joey Martin, I think has been supreme. Although, I do think he with the high standards he sets himself, that third chance almost on the forehand, I think you'd expect to score there. I don't know whether we'll see a replay of this. Have a look at Neely there, who has been very, very good. But I think the shot that he blocks, first of all, causes him to back out of the shooting lane a little bit. And Pope sees a gap to put it through, and Ulmer gets a great touch. But if Neely isn't playing hurt there, I wonder whether Pope will have that shooting lane. But the Devils don't care. What a touch by Ulmer to give the Devils a lead. And here we go with Farina being a little bit of a rink rat. And I thought he was going to sit for two there for roughing. And I don't think the Devils could have complained too much. But at the end of this shenanigans, Davy Phillips also kind of has his 2 pennants worth. And I wonder there whether the referees evened it up. What a glove hand save there from Bounds. Look at him flash that leather. Credit to Liam Kirk. Absolute confidence to take that shot on, but Bounds just stayed with the play and made a number of perhaps game-changing saves as the period went on.
Eligible for the NHL draft as well, I believe, Liam Kirk, John. Wouldn't that be a turn-up if he could find his way in there?
Well, I know scouts have been watching him, various different clubs, particularly from the northeast of America. I'm not sure if we're allowed to say who they are, but yeah, Liam Kirk could go in this draft, and right now it's all down to skating ability. That's going to be the major thing, whether he can make it. And right now, I said to early in the first period, I think he's comparable to Valdix, so I think he's the best skater on the Sheffield Steelers team. And I think Kirk's got a real chance. And as the periods went on there, it just became more and more manic with the Devils really starting to tilt the ice, but the Steelers managed to bend but not break and had another gilt-edged chance. And where did this puck go, Al?
I've still got no idea.
Does Fitzgerald actually get so much elevation it actually goes over the bar and hits the water bottle off directly, or I don't know, maybe Tom Darnell's got the puck in his pocket in some kind of mystical magician, but that puck went somewhere for the Devils. It didn't go in the net, so they ended the period with a 2-1 lead, and they will start this period with a power play.
They do indeed, with 40 seconds exactly, as you can see on your screens there, from multiple angles as well. You can get a look at that 40 seconds on the board. We've got customary slight delay as the players are on the ice, but the ice isn't ready for them. And we're used to this in Ice Arena Wales by now, so it just... but it's going to be a key face-off, and we saw yesterday in a situation like this in the Champions Hockey League final, where key face-off on a power play that went into the next period. It meant that the team with the power play could get their big line back on the ice, but if the defensive side, in this case the Sheffield Steelers, can win that draw, it just takes all the momentum out for the Devils early on in the second period.
It does, you're absolutely right, and of course you had the opportunity to see that firsthand. I think on behalf of myself, Gaz, and the whole IceTime.TV crew, I think you deserve a huge pat on the back and congratulations for that achievement of being able to call a Challenge Cup final. And you know, you like to throw me under a bus from time to time, but I can't hold it against you. So really well done on that, Al.
Well, that's very kind of you to say, John. Anyway, let's get back to the action here. Gleason Fournier gets that back to Jake Morissette, who sends Joey Martin into the zone, who had a bit of room there, but went back to Pope. 20 seconds left on this Cardiff Devils power play then from the first period. Gleason Fournier gets it into the captain, Jake Morissette. Room for Pope now. Through, they score! For the second time tonight, it's Pope, then Ulmer, then goal. Another power play goal for Lane Ulmer. The Devils 3-1 up on the night.
Well, unlike Neely in the first instance, I think Wa's got to be more aggressive here coming out to Pope. Neely was hurt. I just don't think Wa gets out quickly enough. Pope's got a lot of room to put that puck through. And Ulmer with that hand-eye coordination. Matheson even could perhaps get better body position on Ulmer. But I think that really starts because Wa isn't as aggressive coming out to block the shooting lane from Pope. Pope to Ulmer. Al, we've got a game on our hands here.
The Cardiff Devils power play, which goes at just under 30% in the league, against the league's best penalty kill, I might add, is 3 for 4 on the night now, John, as well. And we said that special teams could be a key factor, and the Devils finding themselves just 2 goals adrift from the Steelers, thanks to 3 power play goals.
Well, it just gives the Devils life at the start of this second period. I think the Steelers would have been relatively pleased going in at the end of the first period with the Devils only gaining 1 goal back on them. But very, very early in the second period, the Devils get this crowd going again. They get the bench going. Let's see how the Steelers respond over the next few shifts.
And what it also means, of course, as well, is that you would think the Steelers are perhaps going to just hold off a little bit in an attempt not to concede penalties so freely as the game passes on, because they know that Devils power play is lethal. It might open up some more opportunities 5-on-5 for them, but we saw in the highlight reel that Ben Bounds had to make some worldly saves in that first period to give the Devils the opportunity to have a lead. Joey Martin leaves it for Benta Volio. Good work from Davy Phillips, who I've been impressed with his compete level in this game so far. Joey Haddad, Martin goes to the net, tipped it with a fine save from Mustakovs there again, who's been good in this game, you've got to say. He might have given up 3 goals only just into the second period, but he's made some good saves too.
Both netminders have been good, both teams have been good, and you know, the Steelers, on the Steelers bench, Paul Thompson, an experienced coach, will be just telling them to calm down. They still hold the cards here, they've still got that 2-goal lead, and the Devils, yeah, okay, they might have the momentum, but I got to be honest, I'd probably prefer to be on the Sheffield bench with 2 goals in my back pocket than the Devils bench. So if Paul Thompson could just calm his troops down with the experienced people he has on that bench, you know, I'm sure this won't faze them.
And they get a chance here in the offensive zone with Tim Wallace looking to win a draw up against Joey Martin. He does so. Back to Scott Arson there, but that was way wide of the target from Arson, who's got to go back and collect the puck now. Gives it up though to Joey Haddad. Into the zone they go again. Bryce Reddick in on goal, but it was well blocked there by Levi Nelson, who will lead the rush for the Steelers now. 3-on-3, blasts it in on Ben Bounds, who blockers it wide. Good bump from Nelson on Reddick, but then Tyson Strachan comes in to separate him from the puck. Jono Phillips is like a terrier out there after the puck, but the Devils clear. Scott Arson up against Pope, who sends it into the far corner for Paul Crowder, who's now on the ice, but he lost out on the battle to Zach Fitzgerald. Sheffield Steelers managed to get a change here. Of course, long change in this second period for both sides, and it gets given up. Marquardt might have a chance, but it was another bit of fine work there, and eventually it was Morissette who cleared. Mark Matheson goes D to D with Ronberg, who makes a nice lead pass for Jonas Vesterling to Matthew Waugh. Blast from Waugh. It was the side of the netting in the end. I think Bounds got a little piece of it on the way through. The Devils have iced the puck, though, and come all the way back into their zone.
That's a good response from the Steelers, and led by a couple of good lead passes by Mark Matheson, that was able to get the Steelers going through the neutral zone at pace. And this is just a fascinating game, and the Steelers might be behind the pace a little bit in the league, but it's just in their DNA to know how to win and know how to play in big games, and they've got so much veteran experience on that bench, and the Devils now the top team in the country. Andrew Law said this was going to be a great series, and it's proving to be just that.
Matthew Waugh will pick it up for the Steelers, and now Marquardt, the two good friends, these two, and they have a bit of chemistry together on the ice too. But Strachan, the ex-NHLer, is strong, but Waugh is stronger there. And there's a good battle between those two as well. Marquardt, the big body, comes in, gets it to Vesterling, tries to go out front, but he just banked it off the back of the net. Vesterling now, still with room, gets tangled in the skates. Another try on the doorstep. Waugh tried to just backhand that one in, but it went wide of the net. Good pushback from the Steelers, as John says. They go to work here. Tipped as Waugh there is right in front of Bounds, who was strong and commanded the top of his crease.
I like Vesterling. He's got a low centre of gravity, he skates well, and he's obviously a very, very good playmaker. Spent most of his career in the Swedish seconds here, but put up a lot of points. And again, you can tell a good player, he's just making time for himself on the ice, and I think that's a good pickup from Paul Thompson.
There's a chance on goal there, but Bounds parried it wide from Eric Neely, who goes in to try and win a battle now. But Drew Parris has been good with the stick in his own zone tonight, and here comes Gleason Fournier now. Fournier there with Lane Ulmer, but he sends it in for Bentivoglio, but that was good work again from Davy Phillips in his own zone. Ben O'Connor will chase, but Aslin gets there first. Aslin back to Fournier, looks for a lane, shoots, but it got tangled up out front, and Kirk will now lead things for the Steelers. Gets it inside to Neely, back from Kirk, looks to split the D and maybe overplayed. Another chance though, and it was smashed high and wide by Valdix in the end. Perhaps they just overplayed that rush there, did the Sheffield Steelers. Bentivoglio around the glass. Over to Matt Pope. Pope works his way inside, still going as Pope, slashing away at it. But it's cleared by Andreas Valdix, and now away goes Levi Nelson, just pinched out of it there by Mark Richardson.
The Devils haven't been able to build on the momentum of that power play goal, and I think that's credit to the Steelers. For the Devils, I really think they want more from Patrick Aslin. He's so skillful, he could be a game changer, but right now he seems to be fighting the puck a little out there.
Joey Martin is working hard there. Fitzgerald just about gets it out of the zone, and get a tumble off the play, but it didn't affect anything, and the referee's whistles quite rightly stay in the pocket. But here's Joey Haddad turning it on with style. Haddad will go back to Mark Richardson, who'll just step in and go around the boards. Over to Joey Martin. Out front is Matt Pope. Here's Andrew Hoffman through a lane. Fired in on goal wide of Mustakovs though, but you could see that the Devils are looking for that. They saw the success that the Storm had against the Steelers on the weekend. But here's Tim Wallace, makes a nice play there, and now Jonathan Phillips is hustling but lost out. Thought he may have been slashed on the way through, but play continues. Joey Martin with the brakes on, goes inside. Hotham looks to go backhand there, but that was a beautiful bit of work there from Jonas Ronberg. Matthew Waugh gets involved, and now they go away with Tim Wallace again, just chasing his own puck there, and Bryce Reddick gets there first, gets bumped by Wallace. The Devils get a hold of it, just about. Reddick will make a lead play to Matthew Myers, in on goal. Shoots! He handcuffed Mustakovs a bit. Might be another try. Fired in! Fine save from Mustakovs there, who recovered well after the initial shot. Tyson Strachan goes to Bryce Reddick now. Reddick tries to go through, but Waugh made a nice defensive play. Helping out was Mark Matheson as well, and the puck is cleared.
Good battering ram shift there from Matthew Myers, but right now, Al, I think Joey Martin is head and shoulders the best player on the ice. Every time he's on the ice for the Cardiff Devils, he makes something happen. He's a big game player, he's the best player in the league, and he's certainly come to play tonight.
Yeah, the Devils there with a rare fourth line shift. They haven't utilised that Batch Myers line an awful lot tonight. We've seen so many minutes for the likes of Joey Martin and Jake Morissette and Joey Haddad. really been given an opportunity here. You feel the Devils throwing everything at it, perhaps in this first 40. Lane Ulmer up against Ben O'Connor, who wins the battle. Davy Phillips did well too. Liam Kirk, Levi Nelson worked to do in his own end, and Phillips will get that one out of the zone to Eric Neely, goes around the outside of Drew Parris. Bentavolio gets there, but Neely did well, but then Valdix gave it up, and out come the Cardiff Devils again, but with a turnover to Davy Phillips. Now Liam Kirk into the zone, puts the brakes on and handles the puck so well, does Liam Kirk, under pressure from two Devils there. Now Gleason Fournier, though, as it's turnover after turnover right now, but we're still being played at breakneck speed here. Now Justin Farina up against Scott Arson. Big bump comes in on him from Arson, who separated him from the puck well, and the Steelers clear.
Mastercross hasn't had a lot of grade A chances to save since that third goal. I think the Steelers, whilst the Devils have perhaps the greater puck possession, the Steelers have done a good job keeping them largely to the outside.
And indeed haven't given up any other power play opportunities, crucially as well. This Devils power play on fire tonight. And that time they ice the puck and it'll come all the way back to the Steelers zone.
Al, you think about Liam Kirk, if you step away from this game for a moment. Do you imagine the esteemed company he would be in if he does get drafted? Of course, Tony Hand and Colin Shields, I believe, are the only two GP players who have ever been drafted, as we see the chance there for the Cardiff Devils. Tony Hand, the last pick of the draft from the Edmonton Oilers, and Glenn Sather said he really could have made the NHL. Well, Liam Kirk, not many have done it from Britain. Stevie Law went close, but Liam Kirk has got a real chance.
Well, there we go. It was no chance there on the face-off, and in comes Levi Nelson as Marquard was sent packing there before he even had a chance to compete for the puck. Anyway, here's Andrew Hoffman now for the Cardiff Devils. So Matt Pope around the boards. There for Joey Haddad with the backheel play, but he gave it up to Nelson, who then gave it up with a good play from Pope, and Richardson will cover on the far side. Now Joey Martin up against Levi Nelson, does well, there's Nelson there to turn that puck over, and now Matt Marquard in on goal, but a good stick from Matt Pope. Another chance if they can make it work, but Mark Richardson covered the play well. It stays in the zone though with Zach Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald still with the face cage on, goes back to the point for Jonas Vesterling, fires, and it's wide of Ben Bounds. Now Mark Matheson, dangerous there for the Steelers, and they're leading their points, of course. Mark Matheson this season, for a defenseman to do that is quite something. Here he is on the puck now. He's got all the skill in the world and all the time on the puck too. Mark Matheson now. Seems like a perfect combination there, putting him back with Ronberg as well, who's happy to play that stay-at-home role. The big Swede goes 6'3", around about 220 pounds. Matthew Myers, the Devils, another fourth line shift. He gave it up to Vesterling though, so Bounds will clear, and then Myers will bundle over Vesterling. I don't think there was anything in it. And we get a whistle.
Well, the crowd have fallen out this a little bit again now, which is credit to the Sheffield Steelers. So the Devils just need something to set the momentum going again, a chance, a big hit, preferably for them a goal. But really, credit to the Sheffield Steelers. You wondered whether one goal might lead to two at the start of this second period when the Devils did capitalise on that power play, but the Steelers have responded very, very well, and it's very well poised, this matchup at the moment.
So we're nearly halfway through this one now. It's certainly been a bit more of a pattern to this second period, although there's a lot going on in that first period, on and off the ice. But we got through it. And here's Justin Farina, in it goes with Ben O'Connor now. Farina will put a bump on him up front, another try there, they score! The Devils find a way through, this time even strength, and it's Justin Farina out front who bundles the puck home, and they reduce the deficit to 1.
Well, this is just a workmanlike goal. Farina forces the turnover. Myers does a great job putting it in the net. Batch, with his size, is causing all sorts of commotion. And I think in the end it's great hand-eye coordination from Farina as he's coming back from around from behind the net, who manages to put it in on the backhand. But that's just a blue-collar goal involving Farina, Batch and Myers, and that's the momentum that the Devils needed.
You were just saying the crowd were out of the game really for a while there, John, as the Steelers seem to just calm proceedings. Well, they're right back in it now, just at the time that the Cardiff Devils needed to get something on the board, you felt, as there was a little bit of a lull. Around the boards it goes and just spills alongside Mustakovs, but out of the zone it'll come now. The lead play from Liam Kerr, but he's iced the puck and it'll come all the way back into the Steelers zone.
So let's have a look at a slow-mo of this, thanks to the guys in the truck, and let's see where Farina is when this puck finally goes in, because I think he was kind of behind the net. Badge does a good job just keeping that play alive, and Mustakovs can't freeze it. And yeah, Farina banks it in off the shoulder. That's great hockey awareness for Farina. He can't put the puck directly on net himself, but he puts it into a position where he's got a chance to bank it in, and the crowd are going nuts right now for Justin Farina, who's really becoming a Cardiff folk hero.
Andrew Hoffman there just lost out. Kirk, you could see what he was doing there. Just the vision of him trying to get it to Valdix didn't quite work that time, but my goodness, what an exciting prospect he is. Ben O'Connor gets a bump there from Bentavolia, but did well to get it to Davy Phillips, who sets away Kirk again. Valdix now went shoots up high on Ben Bounds there, and it was a wicked wrister in the end from Valdix. Here go the Devils on the rush again, over halfway gone in this one. A 1-goal deficit now, 4-1 on the night. Paris, the blast, I think it just deflected on the way through, and that's actually a fine save from Mustakovs there to close the 5-hole late on.
But again, it's got to be a certain amount of game management here for the Devils. Yes, play on the momentum, but in all intents and purposes, it's a 1-goal game now. They don't have to expose themselves.
They almost found a way through there as Drew Paris just looks to be playing with some real confidence, and now as Joey Martin fires, and I think it was just a bit of a touch of the pad of Mustakovs on the way through. But they ramp it up again. Paris looks for a lane, shoots, it was blocked out front. They still battle up against Valdix. Puck's still there, might be a chance. Pope back out, what a save! Kicked away by Mustakovs. The building is electrified here with what's going on in Ice Arena Wales right now. We get a bump on the boards, no call, so play will continue. 5-on-5, Joey Martin might be away here though. Martin, as his line mates change, he dances his way in and still finds Jake Morissette, who then gave it away. Good work from Phillips. Reddick shoots, might be a chance for Farina, but the Steelers get away with it as the Devils are imperious right now.
Well, this is a key moment. The next couple of shifts, the Devils have the momentum. They're creating chances. Can the Steelers nullify this pressure?
Reddick goes D-to-D with Tyson Strachan. He has room to get the puck away if he wants, but goes wide. Inside Crowder tipped, and it went wide of Mustakovs. But indeed, John, absolutely right. This is the moment in the game you feel, and everybody in the building can sense it as well. The Steelers need to push back this Devils tide because they'll have their time in the game, no doubt about it. Here's Bryce Reddick. Reddick around the boards. Now Josh Batch who steps in. The Devils go to that big body unit with Joey Haddad on there with Matthew Myers. These are players who like playing together too and will look to crash their way through to Mustakovs. Now Bryce Reddick camped in the Steelers zone of the Cardiff Devils. Still there. Fired from Myers and well blocked by Jonathan Phillips. It stung him on the way through. Wallace gives it up under pressure in his own zone, and now Josh Batch has a hold of the puck for the Cardiff Devils. Over to Bryce Reddick, 2 men out front. Reddick is boxed out though well by Levi Nelson, my apologies. Inside now goes Joey Haddad looking for a lane. Fires, tipped, and it's well saved from Mustakovs. But the Devils are looking for that deflection, and you can see why they're getting so much success.
And the people of Ice Arena Wales, aside from one small corner which is Yorkshire, rise and cheer the Devils, and the atmosphere in here is intense right now. The Steelers though, as you mentioned in commentary, still doing a good job largely keeping the Devils to the outside, but it's just wave and wave of Devils attack.
They win a draw but give it up there, and you can see again the Devils are just looking to go straight into that slot area for a deflection. Right now the Steelers don't have an answer to it other than Irvin's Mustakovs.
And I think as you saw from that last shift, Josh Batch has an important role in this game. He's not going to play a lot of minutes, but he gives the Devils a little bit more depth. He gives them another big body. He crashes the net, and Andrew Lord will look to use him at strategic points.
Another turnover there on the blue line, and Bentivoglio could try and get the Devils going now. We'll just calm things down with Mark Richardson. Under 7 minutes left in this second period. 1-goal deficit, 4-1 on the night. Ben O'Connor tries to get it out of the zone, but it's kept in by Bentivoglio. Hit came in there, it was Vesterling who caught one up high, chance out front, and a fine save from Irvins Mustakovs there. Point blank on Sean Bentivoglio. Andrew Hotham dances his way in, still going against Hotham. What a good stick that was. Again, it's Davy Phillips. I've been so impressed with him in his own zone tonight. Liam Kirk there working hard, but now Joey Martin gets it back to Richardson, tipped, and again it didn't go. Another try hits the side of the net, and Mustakovs clears with 6 minutes and change to go in the second.
Martin and Hotham. I don't know whether they can rotate in every other shift, but boy, those guys are leading the charge. And Joey Martin, the 4.5 years he's been in Cardiff, Al, how many adjectives do you want to use to describe him? But tonight, in this big game with the Devils, with a mountain to climb, he's just gone up another level. And every time he's on the ice, he's controlling the puck in the Sheffield zone. He's mesmeric, and the Steelers are having problems.
They try and go out of the zone via the winger again, but again the Devils win a turnover on those high boards around that blue line and keep it in, but that one deflects and will be a face-off in the zone, I think, just about. Yeah.
But again, on the Steelers bench, Paul Thompson, he's been there, he's seen it, he's done it. He's got a lot of veterans on that bench. The Steelers, they're 4-1 down in this game. They hold a 1-goal lead. If they can get through the next 5 minutes, 49 seconds without conceding another goal, or indeed score a goal themselves, the complexion of the game changes again. So they'll be just taking this as a small segment now. 5 minutes 49. Get through without any more damage, and you go into the third period in Ice Arena, Wales, with a 1-goal lead. And most visiting teams would take that.
And the Steelers have a superb record at defending leads. Okay, they didn't last weekend against the Storm, but they are usually superb at defending leads in that they take into third periods, and that will be a big factor. No doubt. I'm sure that one result on the weekend won't affect them too much in terms of tonight's game, but right now it's all Cardiff Devils as Matheson is having to work in his own end. But there's going to be a call coming up here. The Steelers are going to go to the power play as Matheson was held there. The Devils a little overzealous, and that's just what the Steelers needed.
Yeah, Farina is playing on the edge. He scored that great goal, but all night he's been playing on the edge, and just there he looked to play the body. The Steelers man got away from him and he put the stick across the midriff, and yeah, that's a hooking call in this day and age, in this modern game. Referee Hicks gets that absolutely right, and again, another key facet of this game now, as the Steelers have a chance to, first of all, stem the momentum of the Devils, but also potentially score a goal and suck the life out of this building.
The Steelers, of course, have a power play goal of their own tonight as well. They scored it quickly too. There for Ben O'Connor, blasted on goal wide of Ben Bounds, who was screened, didn't see all of it. Bounds, Strachan just about gets that one out of the zone. It's there for Ben O'Connor now to go to work with 1:45 left on this Steelers power play. Vesterling will pick the puck up and then send it over to the far side where Eric Neely waits, the Steelers goal scorer tonight. Andrew Hotham has got to work hard to get it out. Matthew Waugh will come in there in a battle and does well with help from Neely. Vesterling gets it in, and chasing is Scott Arson. Scott Arson, who's a real leadership type player, success at Braehead of course for him as well, and comes into this big environment in Sheffield now with these big games. Fired by O'Connor, looking for Neely again. That was almost a carbon copy of their goal from earlier, but that time it didn't work out.
Yeah, Neely, he's just got a habit of getting away from coverage and not making a real significant move on the play, but just drifting away from people, and he goes to that net. And as you said earlier, Al, for the time of the season it was when the Steelers picked him up, that's a really good pickup.
50 seconds left for the Steelers on this power play. Matt Marquardt will get into the zone. Change of units for them. The Devils will manage a change or two themselves as well, with Richardson on the back end. Then we get a kerfuffle on the boards, and out it comes. So Matheson will go back. 35 seconds to work with. Mark Matheson pitchforks that one into the zone up against Matthew Myers there, who does beautifully, does Matthew Myers, to kill some more time for the team in black. 20 seconds to go here then for the Sheffield Steelers on this power play opportunity to stem the Devils' tide. Here's Levi Nelson. Nelson over to Marquardt. Just again, it just didn't work out for the Steelers there. With 5 seconds left, it's all but killed.
Well, of course, with a slightly shorter bench and key guys playing a lot of minutes and playing a lot of defensive minutes in the last portion of the game, the Steelers there didn't really get any setup, and at least for them, the bonus is they did kill time off the clock.
So back we are 5-on-5 with just over 3 minutes left in the second period, but offside is the call.
So the fatigue level for the Steelers has got to start building up now, but of course the Devils also had that very, very tough weekend in Belfast, so you can try and break down this game, Al. You know, we can try and talk about it strategically, but it might just come down now to who wants it most.
So we're going to get a neutral zone face-off here, and we get a battle there as well. Short bed to Volio. Is that John O'Phillips there? No, apologies. I think, it's Eric Neely maybe there. Let's see if we can get a number. Indeed, it was Eric Neely and short bed to Volio. Two players with a high skill level, but play with an edge as well. That just delayed the face-off for a moment. Patrick Asselin now, but he got it taken away from him as the Steelers have just edged their way back into things here. And it's up to the Devils to wrestle momentum their way again. Now Bentivolio has room inside, shoots, and it was wide of Mustakov. Another try from Asselin. No goal, no! Did they score? Then we get a battle. I thought there was a call for a goal for a moment there. But indeed, in the end, it was waved off. And then we get a bit of a tussle around the goal.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see where that puck is, and I wonder whether Andrew Lord, he might ask for a review. We will wait to see, but yeah, we're going to review this. The puck went towards the net. Bentivolio put the puck on net. As the puck came back off the backboards, it was thrown towards Mustakov. He made the initial save, but was Bentivolio able to jam that over the line? Again, I've used the term 37 times in the last 3 minutes, but another key moment of the game now.
Indeed it is, and high pressure environment here. I'm not sure how much we're going to see from this angle. We might need to look at that GoPro angle, perhaps from behind the goal, if possible. Here we go. This is going to tell more of a story. As you say, John, key moment in the hockey game here. How do you see it?
That's hit the inside of the post and come out. No, that puck doesn't go in. It hits the inside of the post and comes back out into the crease.
Yeah, ping-ponged around there, didn't it? But certainly wonderful bit of positioning there. I didn't see which, was it Mike Hicks or Tom Darnell behind the goal there, but there, whoever it was a superb bit of refereeing on the spot.
And we get the right call out because of technology, and in a game of this magnitude, it's nice to see that being used, and that's absolutely the right call. The Steelers protect their 1-goal advantage, and we'll wait to see what happens.
We'll see if that was the coach's challenge as well on that one, or whether it was just the referees wanted to decide whether...
I didn't see Andrew Lord's signal from the bench he wanted to challenge. Darnell was in the scrum, and as he came out of the scrum, he indicated he wanted to see the review. So, I don't know, we're guessing, but I think the referees themselves called that review.
So the Devils will have to find another way through here with 2:30 left in the second period. Still a 1-goal deficit. Can the Steelers keep them out? Mark Richardson gets it back to Joey Haddad, who's having an influence on this game. No call on the play on Joey Martin, but he stays with it and will look to go to the net, and it was squeezed out front and wide there. And play continues. Hotham steps in, shoots, and that was a fine save indeed from Irvis Mustakovs as Martin is in a big tangle with Fitzgerald there. Not getting a call. Chance out front. How did he miss? Or was it save? Perhaps he got a glove to it. Mustakovs still there out front. The Devils throwing it on net as they've been surged on by that near goal moments ago. They keep it in the zone, but getting there first was Levi Nelson and sets up the Steelers on the rush now. Jonathan Phillips gets it inside. Might be a chance here. Tim Wallace looked to go backhand and pull a big move, but he couldn't make it happen. Now the Devils will go on the rush here. Pope leaves it off for Joey Haddad. Richardson goes to the net. Andrew Hotham will get it now.
Well, Paul Thompson cannot believe there wasn't a call on that play, and I was looking for the referee's arm to go up. We'll wait to see the replay on that, but
Ben Bounds gave it away to Matthew Waugh, so there's work to do there for Patrick Aslin, but they get it out with 1:20 left in the first, and Strachan will send it in, and Mustakovs misses it, so the Devils can try and build something here, then just about keep it in the zone, but then they give it up. Fine bit of work there from Ronberg to set up Vesterling. Vesterling into the zone up against Gleeson Fournier, puts the brakes on, room for Waugh, blasts, but it was blocked and sent wide.
The Devils got to be careful. Their back check isn't great right now, and the Steelers are getting space to gain the zone. The Devils, yes, they're going for goals, yes, they're riding the crest of a wave, but make sure they've still got that strong position going into the third period.
Sean Bentavolio takes it on himself to get the Devils going. Now Strachan through, it was deflected, and Lane Ormer's hand-eye coordination is something to marvel at, really, isn't it? The amount of times he gets a stick on those pucks thrown in at goal. Here's Matt Marquardt into Liam Kirk. Kirk again, he skates so beautifully, and look at the time he creates there. Liam Kirk still going, but in the end it took the skating prowess of Gleeson Fournier to keep up with him, and we get a whistle as that hits the netting behind the goal.
Kirk is the real deal. He's so good on his edges. He can do everything at pace. He stick handles well, and yep, there might be a Cardiff Devils Sheffield Steelers rivalry, but for the development of British ice hockey, particularly on the world stage, what a great prospect Liam Kirk is. It's a little bit of a clutch and grab there from Hoffman. Does he do enough? I don't know, that's a marginal call, but I can understand why referee Thompson, Coach Paul Thompson asked for it. Freudian slip.
So the closing moments of this period, is there more drama in the second? There might be, as Kirk sends it in on Bounds, who spilt it there. Neely will come in and put pressure on too, but that will just about do it. At the end of the second period, the Cardiff Devils, as Ice Arena Wales gets to his feet to applaud the efforts of the team in black there, who've managed to claw their way back through some quite breathtaking offensive hockey and puck retention to make this just a one-goal game now on aggregate. 4-1 they lead on the night, but they need to find one more to at least get this one to overtime. John?
Well, at the start of the night, I said about the Cardiff Devils, they weren't going to win the game in the first period. See where it is after 40 minutes. And right now, they only have a one-goal deficit. The Devils would have taken this before the start of the game. And in that second period, they did tilt the ice. They did have all the zone time. But for the Sheffield Steelers, again, despite the fact the Devils had dominance in that period, you've got to say there were areas of positivity for the Steelers. I thought after they conceded that goal right at the start of the period, they could have faded then. They could have really relented under the Devils' pressure, but they didn't. They came back with 5 or 6 good shifts, keeping the Devils to the outside. And then again, when the Devils scored the goal to make it 4-1, there was around about 5 minutes and change left on the clock, and the Steelers got themselves out of the period still with a 1-goal lead. So yes, the Devils have the momentum. It is 4-1 on the night. But in the grand scheme of things, the Sheffield Steelers are going to go into a one-period shootout with a 1-goal lead. They're still in the driving seat to qualify for the Challenge Cup final. But what a game of hockey this has been, and what a 20 minutes we've got coming up.
Oh, thanks for now, John. We still see a discussion going on the ice there. It's all very amicable, and senior players involved. And we'll be back with you then for third period action. Will it be the final period? Who knows? You wouldn't bet on anything the way this game is going tonight. We've had pretty much everything you could have wished for in a hockey game. We'll be back with you in about 13 minutes time to review that second period, then look towards the third period for live coverage here. See you in a bit.
Keep them coming, folks. I know there's plenty out there. Get them on the ice. Get them on the ice. Don't wait to throw your pucks. Get them out there. If you're holding a puck, ask yourself, why? Why am I holding this puck? I should be throwing it on the ice. Here we go. Count it down with me. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2. Throw the pucks, you guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Wait. Oh, okay. No, wait. Remember, you've won 2 tickets to the Challenge Cup final right here on Sunday, March 4th. One of these 2 teams will be there, and so will you. If you threw the lucky puck, which is puck number 1327. 1327. Congratulations, you've won 2 tickets to the Challenge Cup final. I need you to go to the penalty box area. Go behind the penalty box area. We'll take your name, number, and email details, and we'll get you those tickets as soon as they go on sale. Folks, 17 minutes to get your shirt off the back and 50-50 tickets. We're going to be back with you right after that. Loads of birthday messages tonight, starting with a happy 30th birthday to Emma Thomas in Block 5. Love from your husband, Lee. Happy 14th birthday, Freya. Love from Jenny, Mom, and Josh. Happy 18th birthday to Katie Howell. There she is up on screen with her favorite player, Gleason Fournier. Happy 10th birthday to Kara Smith. Lots of love from Mom, Dad, and Ellen. Happy 11th birthday to Lily Morgan. Lots of love from Becky. Happy 50th birthday to Brett Harley. Love from Sam, June, and all the family. What a picture there. Happy birthday to Margaret in Block 19. Love from Scott, Emily, Megan. Let's go Devils. Happy birthday, Emily Raps, who is 4 tomorrow. Love from Mom, Dad, Owen, and everyone at IceTime.TV. A big happy birthday to Karis Wilcox. Lots of love from all her Devils family. A warm welcome to Ostradmatic Primary, attending tonight's game courtesy of the GE Aviation's Companies That Care program. A warm welcome to Kumtawi Community School, who have traveled here from Swansea tonight for the game. We hope you have a great time from everyone here at the Cardiff Devils. A message from the Cardiff Comets. They play at Ice Arena Wales 2 p.m. on Sunday the 11th before our game. Free entry to all. Come down and support the Comets. Harry Thomas, our mascot. Their family would like to wish him a fantastic night being mascot. We're very proud of you and how hard you work. Good luck for your new adventure to become a netminder. Love from Mom and Dad. A very warm welcome to the Toyota Cheetahs rugby team from South Africa. There's a boatload of them here, and they are playing our very own Cardiff Blues on Saturday. Well, a big welcome to all the Cheetahs. Welcome to Wales, not just the Devils game. And good luck against the Blues on Saturday. Happy birthday to Kyle Morgan in Block 10. Love Leighton and Amy. And a big happy birthday to Dan from IceTime.TV. Finally, happy birthday to Joe Craigs, who is 22 today.
Welcome back to IceTime.TV, and we've kind of stopped doing the period interviews this season. We've brought it back one night only for a very, very special reason. I'm joined by the Devils legend, and just a legend in his own right, Mr. Jeff Smith. Jeff, how are you?
I'm really well, thank you very much.
So, Jeff, we could talk for 3 hours, but we've got one period intermission, so I'm going to break it down into stages. Hockey, the charity work with Everest, and your latest project. So let's start with the hockey first. And I don't know, maybe you're on a little bit of a pedestal for me, but the greatest moment for me in 31 years of following the Cardiff Devils was Wembley 1990, that day in April penalty shootout against the Murrayfield Racers, where you made the final save of the game against Tony Hand to win the Devils' first ever playoff trophy. Can you encapsulate how that felt?
In words, probably not. In emotions, yes. I was watching the screen as I came in, and I just happened to be videoing it just to put it on Instagram, and I saw myself with hair, which is always something to behold. But no, it brings back a very warm, fuzzy feeling inside. But in words, no, I couldn't have written it any better, so it was an amazing event.
And what were those days like as a Cardiff Devil, those magical first 4 or 5 years, John Lawler, Steve Moria, the Cooper brothers, the emergence of Nicky Chin and Jason Stone? For me as a kid growing up, it seemed like a fairy tale. What was it like to play here?
Probably the same, actually. I think Johnny did a great job in getting an amazing team together, and I think the thing that was very interesting was watching how we gelled really quickly and managed to take on some of the giants of ice hockey, going up, getting promotion, and then actually winning everything, which was quite amazing.
And just the final one on hockey before we move on to the other stuff, Jeff. The game tonight, it's pretty scintillating, isn't it? How are you enjoying it?
I'm loving it, actually, and it's always good to come from behind. The boys have put themselves into a great position at 4-1, and hopefully we can get the result and we can actually go further in the competition.
So let's talk about what you've been doing post-hockey and particularly the Big Moose projects. And, you know, this is just such a great organisation and helps a lot of causes and has really sort of crystallised itself in one major event and one major new project now. Tell us about Everest. Tell us about Big Moose, what it stands for, and then tell us about Everest.
Okay, so Big Moose is a legacy that we've built around a friend of mine, Gary Moose Clunan, who played ice hockey with me at Streatham Redskins back in the day. He passed away 11 years ago from cancer. He was my best friend, and I decided to try and create a legacy for him where we could just do some cool stuff, raising money for different charities and trying to create some good causes. So we've created a disabled children's triathlon, lots of different things, and we started moving into helping homeless people, which is a really big problem in Cardiff, which everybody who lives in Cardiff probably sees on the street, the same as you and I. And we decided that we would get involved and try and sort of donate some time and effort into feeding and doing some stuff with homeless people. But then I just didn't feel like I was doing enough, and I felt that somebody needed to do something, and then I realized that I was that somebody. So I decided that we would try and do something around actually employing homeless people in a way. So we've started to create a coffee shop in the city centre of Cardiff, which the profits will be used to actually employ and train and mentor homeless people.
And this is something, Jeff, you're very much doing with your daughter. This is a family project almost.
Very much so. My daughter's 23, Chloe, my youngest daughter, who lives in Cardiff. My eldest daughter's in London. And what I wanted to try and do was bring Chloe into the business mind of things. So she's been working with me on this project, and hopefully she can inspire other young women as well. So as she becomes a businesswoman in her own right, for the right reasons, hopefully she inspires people of her own generation.
So we've got a few people listening in tonight. How can people get involved? How can people help you? I see that Neil Francis sent a tweet out. It was a very kind donation from the Cardiff Devils. If you kind of name a cup of coffee after the Cardiff Devils, is that the sort of thing you're looking for? How can people get involved and help you?
Over the next 4 days, we've set ourselves a huge target. We gave ourselves a target over a 7-day period to have a Kickstarter to try and raise £20,000, which is a huge amount of money, but we need quite a few pounds to actually get over the line to get the project finished and opened on March the 1st, which is the anniversary of Moose's death. So it's a pivotal time for us. We will achieve it, we will get the money, we just need to work really hard. We've got some great perks on our Kickstarter, so if you have a look on our webpage, which is bigmoose.co, there's links on our social media to Big Moose, and have a look at the Kickstarter. We've actually had somebody, I can't say who because he's too kind and doesn't want to be known, but somebody's actually given us a box at Cardiff City with 10 tickets with some hospitality, as well as some tickets from Franny, and we've also got some tickets for the France-Wales game. So if you're a sports fan, jump online, have a look, and hopefully you can see some perks that might interest you in helping us get that 20 grand over the line by Sunday night.
And I know the Streatham Redskins haven't been in the top tier of British ice hockey for quite some time, indeed since the Devils played them in 1989 in that promotion relegation playoff. But so many great names came out of Streatham, notably Moose, but also guys like yourself, Gary Bryan, Neil Brown, just as a hockey community, a hockey family, you know, this is where we come together, isn't it? And it has the knock-on effect there of not only honouring a great servant of British ice hockey, but also helping homeless people in Cardiff.
That's very kind of you to say, but I agree with you completely that hockey is family. And when Franny rang me and messaged me and said what the Cardiff Devils were going to do, I got a little bit emotional, I got to be honest, because it's a part of my life, a massive chapter in my life, and the fact that people still remember the hockey that was played in the 90s, and myself especially, is just very moving, so it's very emotional.
And Jeff, I'm not letting you get away, you skipped over Everest. I had the pleasure of your company in the summer when you were telling me about that trip and some of the challenges you faced, and you know, when the lack of oxygen kicked in and what have you, and you were doing this on knee reconstruction, and you know, you're looking better at 50 something than I look at 35. So tell us a little bit about that Everest expedition.
Well, I decided to start climbing mountains because I missed the adrenaline rush of playing hockey, I have to admit, and mountains kind of gave me the physical challenge. So after a period of time, I climbed a few mountains and then felt I was in a position where I was confident that I could climb Everest. I went in 2014, but there was a huge accident on the hill which killed 16 Sherpa, and we all had to come home without actually making the attempt. But then I've gone back last year in 2017 in May and was very fortunate to get a great weather window and managed to get to the summit and do, which was probably the most important thing for me, which was to actually spread Moose's ashes at the top of the world for his wife, as she asked me to. Quite a bit of pressure, but managed it, so I'm very proud of the trip.
So you should be. You're a hero certainly for doing that. And just before you go, Jeff, remind the people at home again of that website address, how they can donate, support the formation of this coffee business prior to the 1st of March, and help not only the memory of Moose, but the homeless community in Cardiff. How can they get in touch? How can they help you?
BigMoose.co is the website. Check that out, and also have a look at the Kickstarter campaign and have a look at some of the perks. There's some really cool ones on there, and I'd love to see, even if you can't actually commit to donating any money, it would be great if you could actually just tell your friends, spread it on social media, and then when we are open, come and have a coffee.
Jeff, it's always an honour to talk to you, not just because you were a boyhood hero of mine as a Cardiff Devils fan, but for everything you've done for charity since leaving the hockey game. Thank you so much for joining us on IceTime.TV, and if we can do absolutely anything going forward, please just let us know.
Thank you very much indeed.
Welcome back to Ice Arena Wales. Aled Lloyd alongside John Donovan. Yeah, ready for some highlights first of that ferocious second period before we get into this third period action here. The Devils 1-goal deficit on aggregate against the Sheffield Steelers, and that was the first goal of the second.
Well, I think Matthew Waugh has been great tonight leading his team, but I think he could perhaps afford to be a little bit more aggressive there. He doesn't. Hope finds the shooting lane, and for the second time tonight, that's great hand-eye coordination from Lane Ulmer, and the Devils got a big momentum push right at the start of the second period, scoring on that fresh ice, scoring on that power play, and they started to create a lot of chances. But again, as we said in commentary, I really felt that the Steelers did a great job keeping the Devils largely to the outside and maybe one and done in terms of chances prior to maybe the last 5 or 6 minutes of the period, when it really did become a shooting gallery in front of Irvin's Mustakos.
Yeah, and we get a look here at some of the the Steelers' pressure, and they did have their chances in that second. It was a very even second period, really, up until around about the halfway mark, where the Devils just got ignited by that goal. We see another fine save for Ben Bounds there.
Yeah, when you think about the grade A scoring opportunities, you might just say the Steelers edged that. And that's one there. That puck is sitting in the high slot for Valdick. So I would say the Steelers have had the better grade A scoring opportunities tonight. But of course, in terms of just volume of shots and zone time, the Cardiff Devils are far ahead in that. And this goal here, it's just blue collar, as I said. Farina on the forecheck, forces the turnover. Myers quickly to the front of the net. Batch, I think, in the number of shifts he's had, has been good. He's caused a little bit of commotion. He puts the puck on Mustakos. It's a good save, but great hockey IQ there from Farina, coming back from around the net, just banking it in off the Sheffield netminder, and the roof was ready to lift off Ice Arena Wales when that goal went in.
Yeah, and again, you referenced Josh Batch's work there as well, just able to get out in front and use the big body. Farina picks up the trash, as he so often does, by going to those areas, and then we get a look here at Bentivolio going to work, and Drew Harris creating things. I think Harris has looked confident on the puck tonight, John.
He has. He looked a little rusty in the first, but as you talked about, his stick details being very good. Sorry, just as these highlights go on, interesting to see both teams are out very, very early. There's still almost 2 minutes left on the intermission clock, and yet both teams are out on the ice. That's a sign that this really is a 20-minute shootout, and both teams are very eager just to get on and play hockey. As we go back to these highlights, and Joey Haddad, who I think has had a very, very good game with Joey Martin, cycling that puck, putting it on net, but again, I just love the attitude of both teams here, coming out, let's get ready for battle.
Yeah, I think Martin as well is enjoying maybe a little bit more room out there, playing along those two big body wingers in Haddad and Pope, and he's just, he doesn't need any more invitation than that, really, does Martin. But absolutely, John, it's amazing when you think about it, really, isn't it? And it goes to the old adage that it's a six-period hockey game. You can't think of it really as a couple of separate games.
So this was the goal that was reviewed. Bentivolio puts on net. Good job by Asselin to get that back towards the net. I think Asselin needs to ignite a little bit in this final period, but that's great hand-eye coordination around the net. We know he's got great hands around the net. Puts it back across the crease, but as we saw from, well, this replay at the time, this will hit the inside of the post and come out, and clearly no goal. But yeah, we had a little bit of loving words behind the net, but the Steelers, as I was talking to David Sims again off camera between the period break, if any team came into Ice Arena Wales and were 1-0 up going into the third period, a visiting team, they would consider that to be a very strong position and a position they would snap your hand off for, as we see that Tim Wallace chant. The Steelers are 1-0 up going into this third period, so they still are the favourites to progress. The Devils have the momentum, but the Steelers are in the strong position. What a 20 minutes and possibly more this is going to be.
Well, you talk about momentum, John, but yet again we've got a delay in this building for ice issues, and you talk about both teams getting out on the ice early, ready to play. We look now, the starting five for each team are on the ice, everybody else is on the bench ready to get going, and we're just waiting around here. It's a difficult situation, isn't it?
It is very frustrating, particularly when the teams have been primed by the coaches in the locker room. They did come out early. They want to go with the 2 minutes that was left on the clock, and maybe another 2 minutes delay now. It's going to be 4 or 5 minutes before this puck drop, and unnecessary. Whilst we have got a break, just a couple of shout outs, if I may, Al. A big hello to Abigail Andrews, who's watching back in Sheffield. Abigail, we know that you're not perhaps in the best of health at the moment. We hope you're enjoying this game, though. It's great that you've tuned into IceTime.TV, and we wish you all the best, and hopefully you get on the mend soon. But welcome to Abigail, and also to Devils fan Chris Edwards, away with work at the moment in Germany, but tuning into IceTime.TV. Doesn't think much of my commentary, but really enjoying the game, and we hope Chris, well, maybe he'll be celebrating come the end of the night.
There's a stick break there off the draw. Tim Wallace will have to go to the bench to get a new one. And the Devils have possession of the puck now with Joey Haddad. Haddad gets into the zone now around Ronberg, still going but kept to the outside is Joey Haddad. And now to Mark Richardson, gets it into a Joey Martin, backhanded from Martin. Hotham shoots, and it was well saved from Mustakov. They saw it all the way that time. Ronberg wanted a call on the play, didn't get it. The Steelers will clear.
I think as the period goes on and the Devils have zone time, I suspect, looking at that first play, that the Steelers will just collapse low and protect Mustakovs. The Devils will have room to make plays at the blue line. It looks like the Steelers are going to collapse in front of their netminder.
Oh, we've got the ice delays here to start the period, but it started fast and ferocious, just as all the others have so far this evening. And it's a good face-off won by Valdix up against Paul Crowder. Work to do for Mark Matheson. He turned it over though. The Devils going to work here out front. They score! A turnover in the Steelers zone, and Paul Crowder ties it up. 5-1 on the night, all tied up.
And it's another blue-collar goal. Farina again. The presence of his forecheck causes the turnover from Matheson. He throws it on net. Morissette recycles and the puck is lying tantalisingly in that crease. And Crowder picks up the trash. Maybe these are not the pretty goals we're used to with the Cardiff Devils, but boy, they're scoring some workmanlike goals. They don't care. We've got a 0-0 hockey game.
Yeah, a little bit of a conversation going on with the officials there, but I think everything is okay as far as the goal is concerned. It's a 7-7 hockey game on aggregate, but I think it'd be much easier for me, John, if I went with the 0-0 as you suggested there, so we don't have to keep track of things. A timely goal for the Cardiff Devils, even strength from Paul Crowder, finding room out front and batting it away. But as Morissette shoots, handcuffs Mustakovs. He keeps a hold of it though, crucially, which means Crowder can't get a second bite of it.
Well, there's a long way to go in this, and the Sheffield Steelers are a very dangerous animal. But you referenced a phrase there, Al. I think the Devils have scored at important times tonight. They scored at big times during the first period. They scored right at the start of the second period, where so often in recent weeks there's been a second period lull for the Devils. And after the disappointment of the no goal at the end of the second period, the Devils scored very early in this third.
Might be a chance here. Asselin looks to go in on the doorstep. Mustakovs is down. Wrap around try. They score! Patrick Asselin gets another big goal against the Sheffield Steelers. This time he takes the Devils into the lead, who are irresistible at the moment. They go up now on aggregate 8-7.
I said that if the Patrick Asselin ignites, then the Devils will have another string to their bow. He's been a 6 out of 10 tonight. We know Patrick Asselin can be a 10 out of 10, particularly when it comes to his hands around the net. No panic there on the wraparound. You might have thought he would have rushed to bank that puck in, as Farina did earlier, or maybe go back short side. No, he took his time. He made the wraparound. He scored the goal, and the Sheffield Steelers call a timeout.
Going to get a look at the slow motion replay of that goal here. Asselin had a couple of opportunities, didn't he? But he just used those hands, John, to move Mustakovs around.
Well, there, I think a normal player around the net would have maybe looked to bank that in off Mustakovs. Asselin, he's at his best around the net. He's at his best in tight, close confines. He didn't rush the play. He made time for himself. And the Devils have their first lead in this tie. But let's not forget, a lot has happened in this game so far, and we've got a lot of time to go. 18 minutes, 55 seconds. Hold on to your hats.
Away is Sean Bentavolio into the zone now. They go 2-on-1. Bentavolio looks for a try. Good defensive play there from Scott Arson, but there's going to be a hook on the play. The Cardiff Devils will go to the power play here straight away. Are you surprised Paul Thompson didn't call that timeout after the tie-in goal, John, and left it till the Devils went ahead? But either way, it doesn't seem to have done too much, as Zach Fitzgerald's going to sit for 2.
Well, hindsight's a wonderful thing. As we look at this penalty, not only are the Devils going on the power play, but one of the Steelers' best penalty killers, a key component, Zach Fitzgerald, is sitting in the box. Paul Thompson, I'm certainly not one to second guess him, but yeah, I would have maybe diminished the momentum of this crowd when the Devils tied the game. Just try and slow everything down. The Devils now have the 1-goal lead, and they're on the power play.
Lane Ulmer wins the draw and gets it back to Matt Pope, throws it in to Jake Morissette in the end, just outfoxed everyone, including me there. Did Matt Pope blasts it, but he just fans on the puck in the wake of the Steelers, looking to hit back short-handed, trying to take advantage of this Devils power play unit, which can give up short-handers. They're second in the league, well, league worst, I should say, tied with 9 short-handers against on the this season with 4 forwards out on the ice. This unit goes. Just Gleeson Fournier, the defenseman, as the electricity ignites again in this building. O'Connor gets rid of it this time. 1:20 left on this power play.
But a hockey game is full of small segments, and if the Steelers, the momentum is the Devils now. If they can get through this, if they can get a kill, that's something for them to build on. So they'll just be thinking about the next 1 minute, 10 seconds.
Yeah, so important for them that they hold out here and just stem the momentum that the Devils have built up. Now they go to work with 1 minute left on the power play. The captain, Morissette, goes down to Lane Ulmer. Out front is Sean Bentavolio. Matt Poker's back here with Gleeson Fournier. Now Jake Morissette gets it back to Fournier. Fournier back to Morissette. Now again, as Ulmer flashed that one in, it was a fine save from Buster Collins, who's still making good saves despite giving up 6 goals. Out front, now they score! Another power play goal as the Devils are on fire here in Cardiff Bay. Sean Bentavolio extends the lead for the Devils.
But this is all about the feed from Ulmer. Look how fast this puck comes out on the short side. It's a beautiful pass from Bentavolio. Bentavolio with the one-timer. But Lane Ulmer, perhaps the chief tormentor of the Sheffield Steelers tonight. 2+1 so far. That was a beautiful feed to Bentavolio. He went short side, it was quick. The Steelers didn't have their coverage in place, and Bentavolio just had to make good contact. This place is going nuts in Ice Arena Wales.
So many goals, I completely forgot how many we had there before. But it's 7-1 on the night, 9-7 on aggregate now. The Devils, crucially, the figure is that they have a 2-goal lead, and now the Steelers have got to come out and play. This changes the complexion of things. Valdick looks to go in on Hoffman. How do the Devils respond now to play with a lead in this final period? 3 minutes gone so far, and 3 goals for the Cardiff Devils to start things off. It's sent out for another try there, and it was blocked by Mark Richardson. Puck still loose though, and they clear away from Ben Bounds. Now with Mark Matheson, Scott Arson is there, but he goes instead to Levi Nelson, who shoots, but it gets blocked away from him. The Devils will make changes.
Good response from the Steelers. You're not the dominant force in British ice hockey for the last 20, 25 years without being in tight situations like this. The players, the faces might have changed, but the culture doesn't. This is still very much game on.
They ice the puck there, it'll come all the way back into the Steelers zone. If you're Paul Thompson, John, what are you looking to do for your side right now? What are you looking for your side to do for you?
Well, maybe just one moment that you can hang your hat on, whether Moose makes a big save as the Devils continue to press, or a hit, or a good chance, or again a goal. Just one moment can change the momentum again and give it back to the Steelers. So Paul Thompson is just, I think he's going to key on his veteran leadership. There's a lot of veteran presence on that bench, a lot of guys with experience in the SHL, AHL, NHL. He's just going to key on his veterans.
Tyson Strachan gets it in, and that's just caught Davy Phillips up high there. Strachan goes in to check on Phillips as he took a nasty puck to the face there, and he'll be applauded as he gets up, and we'll just get a whistle on the play and a face-off to ensue.
Good to see Davy Phillips get up under his own steam. You mentioned it earlier, Al. I think he's been good tonight, Davy Phillips. Yeah, okay, he's a 5'6" defenseman, but he's played more minutes tonight, and in a game where you want players in the trenches, I think he's been good physically, hasn't taken any silly penalties, and you know, again, for GB hockey, that's good to see.
Good bit of work there from Ronberg to get that one away from Bentavolio, so it allows the Steelers to come out now with Levi Nelson, sends it in on Ben Bounds, who parries it away, and Gleeson Fournier will take a big bump there from Nelson, who looks a man possessed right now, but Fournier uses that slick skating to get away from him. Now Sean Bentavolio backhands it in, and handled by Irvins Mustakovs there. Around the boards he goes, Jonas Ronberg, and now Jonathan Phillips gets it out with a lead play. Tim Wallace goes with Nelson. Wallace looks to get it back from him, but it doesn't work out. Good work from Drew Parris. The Steelers stay in the zone, though. Over to Mark Matheson. Nobody knows where it is for a moment, but Jonathan Phillips has it now. And then gave it away, so it'll come all the way back to Irvins Mustakovs. Both sides will make changes.
And what will the Devils do now? They don't have to press. Will they sit back and have just that one forward checker and maybe a neutral zone trap. We'll wait to see.
Here's Eric Neely at speed, bustling his way to the net. He wins a penalty for his club as well as Mustakovs goes off. 6-on-5 situation coming up. If they can make it work, another try. How did it go in the end as Neely looks to the heavens as he just managed to hit the post there with the net gaping open. I think Bounce may have got a piece on the ricochet as well.
Yeah, it certainly hit the post, and as we see a Devils penalty here, Neely's been good. And to do this at speed on the forehand side when the puck's coming away from you, he stays with that play, and it's very unfortunate not to put it in. What is he, 25 years old, coming out of the ECHL? Yeah, he was a mid-season pickup, but I really think he's a guy that could spend some time with the Sheffield Steelers for years to come. I've been very, very impressed with him tonight.
So it's Hotham who's going to sit for 2 for the hook. Now Scott Larson had it. Apologies, over the far side. They go to work. The out front, Neely looks for a try on the short angle. Fine save from Ben Bounce here with a pad. Oh, Matthew War, still a chance though if they can make it work. Pitching into the play was Ben O'Connor. Joey Martin might be away here. Neely chases back and Neely does the defensive work. Martin shoots and it's saved by Mustakovs, but Neely just does everything for his club.
And it was unfortunate Morissette couldn't get enough steam on that backhand pass, otherwise Martin was away.
Jonas Vesterling got it in, but then Bentivolio got there with 1:20 left. The Devils cleared the zone on this power play.
Al, how good has Ben Bounds been tonight? It was Mustakovs who perhaps outplayed Ben Bounds last week. Tonight Ben Bounds has had a lot of grade A chances to save.
In on goal again, though, they get bodies to net there from the O'Connor shot, but again the Devils get there first and clear. On the rush again now, but Marquardt couldn't get to the puck first, so Levi Nelson has got to win it in the neutral zone and get it back now. On the charge they go again with Marquardt up against Gleason Fournier, but he did well and Paris can clear. 35 seconds left in the Steelers power play.
A few Steelers looking a little bit tired. They had a couple of great chances. Ben Bounds made a superb pad save low down on the right hand post as we look at it, and you just wonder whether the Steelers are starting to question whether this is indeed going to be their night.
It's looking like a confident penalty kill so far, but can Ben O'Connor produce something for his club? He gets it back to Mark Matheson. They're the 2 leading point scorers for the Sheffield Steelers in league play. Andreas Valdix mishandles though, and that'll just about do it. Hotham is back on the ice and looking for a breakout here, and he will get it now. Going to the net is Bentivolio, marshalled by O'Connor. It gets thrown in and they collide there accidentally, I think, on the way through, but O'Connor gets up gingerly. Might be out front, a chance for Bryce Reddick, who was looking to find an opportunity in the high slot, but the Steelers took it away, and now here's Jonathan Phillips up against Bryce Reddick. 2 diminutive figures, but they'll hustle and bustle and work all night for their team. Reddick's going to be careful not to get pinned for a holding call there, and he isn't. And away they come now with Tyson Strachan, who pulls a deke in the neutral zone. Still going in Strachan. Nice pass to Haddad out front, but he couldn't get it back there in time as the Steelers pushed him out to the far boards.
Yeah, Strachan looking like Mario Lemieux against the North Stars there. That was beautiful hands and opened up a real channel.
There might be another chance here as Haddad looked to split the D, somehow keeps a hold of the puck, gets bundled over fairly, but the Devils will still go to work with Matt Pope now in on goal, and Mustakovs somehow saw it, played the puck straight away, and Haddad went down again.
I really like that from Mustakovs. He doesn't want the face-off. He doesn't want the Devils to have more O-zone time. We know how good the Devils are on face-offs. I think that's an intelligent play by Mustakovs. Keep the play going.
Ronberg now for the Sheffield Steelers with Matthew War out there, who'll have to corral the puck, but he lost out to Joey Martin, and Marquardt let that one slip over the blue line too, so they have to go all the way back with Mark Matheson, who's seeing more and more time now with the Steelers needing this goal to pull themselves within one. Look at the move from Wallace, but the puck evaded him at the last moment, but there's a good Devil stick in there as well. Big bump comes in and out of the zone it goes.
The Devils even now starting to get a bit of puck luck. That clearance would have been kept in at the point by the Steelers defenseman. It hit referee Mike Hicks, managed to find its way out of the zone.
Matheson skates in with ease there, but Bounds saves confidently, seeing it all the way. We're under 11 minutes left in the third.
And this is where you'll see Tyson Strachan starting to take more and more minutes. We know Andrew Hotham will play as a shutdown defenseman, but in the last couple of months, someone had their stick taken off him. Andrew Hotham saying that was ripped out of his hands, but Tyson Strachan will be a key guy now as a shutdown defenseman. He's someone that Andrew Lord keys upon in these situations. He'll play a lot of minutes going into this last 10 minutes 54 of the third period.
Vesterling will take the draw for the Sheffield Steelers, but Paul Crowder beats him to it, and it allows Morissette to get out of the zone. The Devils go on the rush 2-on-2 here with Farina. Crowder going to the net. The trailer is Morissette who sent it in, but parried wide by Mustakovs. That was a quick transition from this Devils line here, who's been superb tonight. Ben O'Connor did well in his own zone, and here goes Vesterling. Drew Harris has got to get there, but nice bit of play from Levi Nelson, but Paris with a big body play on him. Can't clear the zone though. He might get another try now, and does so.
Al, I thought Paris was a little gung-ho in the first period, but since he's settled down, he's been very, very good using his size as a stay-at-home defenseman, using his long stick reach to separate man from puck. He's been separating players from the puck all night. Al, have you got another hockey game to call tomorrow? Is this just maybe another one tonight?
You got a flight up anyway with Cardiff City this week, John? And up at Ellen Road last week, you almost saw as many goals in that game, calling the game for Cardiff City there as we have tonight, which was quite an exciting prospect. Anyway, Valdic shoots and Bouch will make the save there. Joey Haddad. Well, it's deflected on the way out, but yeah, it took us a while though. It was a 4-1 game, I believe, in the end there, so a lot of action for you.
It was, yeah. No, everyone was tired of my voice on IceTime.TV, so they foisted me onto Cardiff City, and you know, soon enough they're going to learn their lesson. And
you're going to be calling the Blues soon as well? Or?
I'm just going to go through all the Cardiff sports clubs until they sack me. I understand Dane Sports under 10s have an opportunity, so.
Lane Ulmer wins the draw in his own zone there. Strachan will get that one out, but he ices the puck, so it'll come all the way back. And 10 minutes left now. It has been a remarkable game of hockey. And you just feel as though, from a neutral perspective, John, it would be something if the Steelers could get a goal here to make it a one-goal game going into that last 5 minutes.
One shot and they're back in the game. I think that's the way they've got to be thinking. Not about the 2-goal deficit. One shot and we're very much back in this game. So just keep plugging away, starting with this face-off.
We've seen just about everything tonight. You wouldn't put it past the Steelers to hit back here. John's talked about the character of the club, established over many years of winning. And you can bet that they will throw everything at the Devils in these latter moments of this game, but the Devils have been playing superbly tonight. It's difficult for any side perhaps to overcome the kind of confidence and swagger that the Devils are playing with, thanks to putting 7 past Irvis Mustakovs.
Not to continue the love in, Al, but because we've got a game on, but you might have noticed a couple of new camera angles there, and credit to the team at IceTime, and particularly Dan, who's directing tonight. It's been really fluid, and I think it's certainly added to the product, so hopefully you're enjoying this at home.
Offham goes over to Matt Pope. Pope just, almost worked out there. He misplayed it. Marquardt into the zone, just gets phased out by Andrew Hotham. They still got to work, but again, the Devils win another board battle there, and I think that's an area they've been very good in tonight in terms of getting it out of their zone quickly. Haddad goes in and will go up against Matthew Waugh. Waugh has picked things up in his season after a slow start, but he's been overly influential tonight and in too many games against the Devils, it seems, at least in Ice Arena Wales of late. Can he do something here though, Matthew Waugh? We know he's a big game player. Phillips fires out front, bounds to make a good save. Indeed, he did create something, Matthew Waugh, there for the Sheffield Steelers. Now Davy Phillips again with room, looks to pull a move, makes a pass instead to Jonathan Phillips, but he couldn't make it happen. Here's Andrew Hotham now around the boards to Jake Morissette.
The thing is with Waugh, he's an elite sniper, but you've got to give him the puck in the right area, and I wonder whether he's got the right line mates. Maybe Paul Thompson can mix it up Valdix, maybe Kirk with War. Get somebody who can carry the puck and give War the puck in the areas that he wants it.
So Wallace has it now through traffic. It was blocked out front though, and the Steelers are just not finding a way to get that puck through traffic towards Ben Bounds, whereas the Devils have had a lot of success in that area. Everything's gone their way, it feels tonight, but here's Paul Crowder now up against Scott Arson. Good work from Tim Wallace in his own zone. They try and get it out there, but again the Devils make them work hard just to escape the zone, and then it's turned over with Patrick Asselin now looking to make something happen. Nice pass to Bentavolio, but good work on the back check from Levi Nelson. Blasted in though that time from Drew Paris with that famous goal in overtime against Davos, of course, in the Champions Hockey League to win that game for the Cardiff Devils. Here's Lane Ulmer, gets into Asselin. Asselin looking to create something only he can from those kind of areas of the ice, but it got taken away from him, and out of the zone they'll come again with Mark Matheson lead play, but it was cut out by Bentavolio, and it stifled Valdix's attempt to get into the zone. Drew Paris to Gleason Fournier off the glass, and it was just out of the reach of Joey Haddad, or was it? Icing is waved off, maybe he got a little touch on that. Kirk gets that one into the neutral zone, but the Devils go straight back in. Eric Neely just turned that one over, but we'll get it back now, and the Steelers go on the rush with a bit of room to work here. Neely can make things happen, but the Devils with good stick detail in their own zone. Andreas Valdix gets a hold of it. Liam Kirk getting time here to try and create something, but here's Matt Pope for the Cardiff Devils. Will just play the percentages and allow himself and his line mates a change.
Very, very good game management from the Cardiff Devils right now, making sure they get the puck in deep, making sure the Steelers don't penetrate through that neutral zone. The one thing you would say to the Steelers fans watching in though, 6 minutes 16 left. This game's had a lot of twists and turns already. I gotta think there's one more in it. So a lot can happen in ice hockey. This one's not over yet.
So back now with Matty Wah, trying to pull his team with him is Wah. He doesn't wear the C, but he's played like he does for all those seasons. Of course, Kelly Cup champion in the East Coast before he came over to the Sheffield Steelers. There's a high stick on the play there, no call, but Mark Richardson, is it, or Lane Ulmer? Richardson who's gone down there. No, indeed, the puck is caught in his jersey, John.
I think it was the puck rather than a stick. I think he blocked the backhand play attempt from the Steelers to try and go down low, and it kind of rolled up the shaft of his stick and went into his mouth. So certainly no high stick, and Mark Richardson shakes that off. He's not going to lose his place in the rotation with minutes to play in the one of the biggest games of the season.
Devils win another draw there. Richardson has got work to do. Got it taken away from him though. Good play up front, and Bounds didn't have to make a save at the end. It was Mark Quard who tried to get the shot away, but there was good stick in the way again from the Cardiff Devils. Mark Quard goes to work. Now they get in close to Bounds, but Bounds will cover up.
The Steelers just starting to commit, and defensemen looking to pinch and outnumber the Devils down low with 5 minutes 33 seconds remaining on the game clock. You suspect the Steelers will have a larger degree of zone time now, but as those defensemen do become more aggressive and look to pinch along the boards, there is going to be the opportunity for the Devils to generate on-man rushes.
And also you have to say, as fine a player as Jonathan Phillips has been over his career for the Steelers, if they perhaps had a full lineup in place, that you may not have seen Phillips in a situation like this 5 minutes ago, chasing 2 goals. So I think that probably is an indicator that we talked about the Steelers missing 3 of their top 5 goal scorers coming into this one, and they have created chances on Ben Bounds though, but perhaps that gilt edge, cutting edge in front of goal has been the difference tonight, as Nelson is the next person to try and get through Bounds.
Well, there's a long time to go in this game. We're still 5 minutes 10 seconds left, but you look at crucial moments. You look at the fact, I think in the first period the Steelers had enough grade A scoring opportunities. They could have taken this tie away from the Cardiff Devils, as we see the shot from distance from Nelson. And then talking about key moments, it seemed like a consolation goal last weekend in Sheffield, but how important is that Joey Haddad short-handed goal become?
Drew Parris with a good cutout play there, and it is Joey Haddad who'll get the puck now, and he likes these situations, says Haddad. He can create something out of nothing. Is he going to do it? Yeah, good defensive work on him. It was John O'Phillips, but he's been called for it. Bounds goes to the bench. The Devils go 6-on-5, almost on the ice. Drew Parris has it on the blue line. Put it back over to the far boards now. Big bump comes in. Parris, the blast deflected out front. And the whistle is called. And Jonathan Phillips will sit for 2.
Well, Haddad just generates that penalty, protecting the puck, keeping his legs going for the wraparound. And Phillips played a lot of shifts tonight, played very well, but maybe just didn't have the stride to keep up with Haddad. And that is a hooking call, and it means if the Steelers can kill off this penalty, only 2 minutes 39 left on the game clock, the Steelers don't have their timeout, they've used it, and they're going to have to decide when they get Mustakovs to the bench.
Yeah, and for the Devils, perhaps it's about puck management here and not trying to give up those short-handed opportunities now in a position where they don't have to find a goal, of course. Mark Richardson has it and sends it in there. And, Matthew Myers was out front, and in came Ron Bergen. And interesting here, we see this this unit on the ice as well. There's a lot more defensive-minded acumen on the ice for the Cardiff Devils than the first power play unit they send out, John.
Matthew Myers, the bull, but also the strongest Cardiff Devils player in the face-off circle. If he just wins face-offs and the Devils keep the puck largely in the Steelers' zone for the next 2 minutes, it kills a lot of precious time off the game clock.
And they win another draw through Matthew Myers there. A bit of help came in from Patrick Asselin, gets it back to Mark Richardson at the point. Richardson goes back to Asselin, who sources it into Andrew Hoffman, looks for a lane, shoots deflected out front. Good save from Mustakovs again there, as that one deflected up high. Matheson now for the Steelers, goes to Ronberg, looking to set something up maybe for Vesterling as the Steelers do think offense, as Matheson jumps straight into the play to create a third forward for the Steelers. Wah shoots, and that was a wicked shot from Wah on bounds, who had to be alert there, and now the Devils will look to go on the rush. Bentavolio got it to Asselin. He's got support as well from Lane Ulmer, who has the puck now. 1:10 left on the Devils power play, but that went all the way through, and Ben Bounds will have to corral that puck and send it around to Joey Martin as the Devils make changes to their unit, as do the Sheffield Steelers. Out there now is Ben O'Connor with Davy Phillips and Tim Wallace. Now Lane Ulmer gets it around to Joey Martin, room for Ulmer. Out front it goes to Strachan, fired in. Might be another try there. Martin looks for the try and couldn't get it. Still a try for Martin, and saved by Mustakovs, who tracked the puck well.
To your point, Al, power play, Tyson Strachan on the power play. We haven't seen that all season. Andrew Lord is looking to protect what he's got.
Hope will fire, handcuffs Mustakovs, and it is Tyson Strachan who thinks first to get out of the zone and get back, and that's a great spot from you, John, with 24 seconds left on this Devils power play. Exactly 3 minutes left in the third period. Here's Gleason Fournier sending it around the glass, and getting to it is Paul Crowder. Misses it a little, and they hack and whack away. And it's with Jake Morissette now, muscled out of it by Ronberg there, and now picking it up is Andreas Valdix, looking to get something going, last ditch for the Steelers, as they go back to full strength now, into the zone with Vesterling and Valdix, who couldn't get through Andrew Hoffman. Hoffman just chips it out, and Arson will go all the way back, but it is an icing on the play, so the Steelers may get an opportunity now to pull Mustakovs. It's very early, John, but you never know, it might be the time.
I also wonder, will Andrew Lord perhaps use his timeout here just to give the guys a few more seconds to recover after the icing call? Will he leave it as late as possible? No, he doesn't, but one thing we do know, the Steelers will now be going with 6 players because Mustakovs is sitting on the bench.
On came Matthew Wah to tell Mustakovs that his night was pretty much done, and that we're going to go with 6 forwards here with this offensive zone face-off. Vesterling is charged with winning it, and he does so, but he gets sent out of the circle there. That's a blow for him after he won that cleanly.
The Steelers will have to reset, but this face-off is key.
And it's won this time by the Cardiff Devils, as Neely couldn't follow up and the Devils get it out of the zone. No, they don't. Vestling will keep it in, and Andrew Hotham will have to get there up against Matthew Waugh. Can't get it out. Neely might look for a chance here, but Crowder did well, and they do get it out through the stick of Jake Morissette.
I do enjoy it when hockey fans shout shoot at a team when they've got an empty net, when the players are in their own zone. I guess gain the red line doesn't quite have the same ring to it.
But Marquardt will tip that one in. Bentivoglio will chase, but looks like offside is going to be the call here, and this one is going to come all the way back into the Steelers zone, which means Buster Colts has got to come back on the ice as well. We're into the last 2 minutes.
The odds are stacking against the Sheffield Steelers here. They need to win the puck on this face-off and perhaps rim it hard around the back of the goal to get a break on this near side to allow Mustakos to come to the bench. Saying that, Ulmer wins another key draw.
And that's been a big factor in tonight's proceedings with the puck possession the Devils have enjoyed. The joy they've had in the face-off circle. Here's Neely on the rush. Mustakos goes to the bench, but he might have to go back now as the Devils have it. He looks to poach it. What a play from Mustakos. I don't think there'd been a change, John, there. The Steelers now have 6 on the ice. What a play from Mustakos on his own blue line to take that Devils attack away from them.
Steelers just cannot get zone entry. There's a lot of defensive-minded players for the Devils playing very strong games, and whilst Joey Martin for me has probably been the best player on the ice of both teams, what a game Lane Ulmer's had. Goal scorer supreme, set up the goal for Bentivoglio, but when it's come to the nitty-gritty, the winning face-offs, the being in the right place and covering your man on the back check, Lane Ulmer's done it all tonight. He's a veteran, he's a winner, a lot of his work goes unnoticed, but I think he's been superb for the Devils, and Sean Bentivoglio's compete level, along with Justin Farina, has been off the chart.
Might be a chance for Haddad there, but O'Connor got back and took it away. The Steelers go again, 6 on 5 with the empty net. Here's Mark Matheson into the zone, and now Liam Kirk on the ice, sends it across the blue paper, no one was there. Tim Wallace picks it up. Wallace has got Baldick, so it goes to O'Connor. Now it's in there for Kirk, who's getting a chance here in this 6 on 5 last-ditch situation, and it's a credit to him that he gets this opportunity from Paul Thompson. They still got to work, and it's sent out of the zone for the Cardiff Devils. But they will ice it, of course, because they're not killing a penalty here. So we're well into this final.
And I think it's two sides of the coin there, Al. I think Liam Kirk deserves to be on the ice in these closing moments when the Steelers are looking to press and chase the game. But to go back to your point a few moments ago, lest we forget the Steelers are very much depleted. There are other key guys who would have been on the ice in these key situations, and the Steelers have missed them tonight.
O'Connor winds, and it was still blocked out front by Haddad here in these big moments at the end of the game. Fired again by Matthew Waugh. They went over Ben Bounds. Still they work. Vesterling waits. Waugh goes to the net. Marquardt is there. Neely too, but it escapes Marquardt, and the Devils can clear again, or can they? Is there going to be? Yeah, I think there's going to be a 6 on 4 situation here, John. Is there? A discussion takes place, and Joey Martin will sit for 2 for delay of game.
Yeah, the linesman called that immediately, and Joey Martin will go to the penalty box. Andrew Law now, I wonder, do you put 2 centres on the ice? Doesn't look like it. Bentivoglio's coming on, but this late in the game, face-off in your own zone, if one guy gets kicked out, I was just wondering whether Andrew Law might look to go with 2 centres. He's not. He's putting his trust in, I can't see that. Is that Lane Ulmer?
Myers out there with Bentivoglio, Strachan and Richardson. It's O'Connor for the Steelers who gets it in. 5 seconds left. They hoist it out of the zone. It's just wide of the net. They can ice it now, of course. Might be a try, but they don't need the extra goal. A fast, furious, fantastical display by the Cardiff Devils to come from behind here in this second leg and do what perhaps nobody thought they could do apart from the 2,500 Devils fans in this building, and Andrew Lord and his team. What a moment of history really we've seen tonight. tonight in this rivalry between these two clubs. What a phenomenal comeback from the Cardiff Devils against a depleted Steelers side, but they still had to get the job done. 7-1 on the night. They go through to the Challenge Cup final to defend their trophy here again at IceTime.TV.
Alex, you've summed everything up perfectly there. The Cardiff Devils are the best team in the country. They have been for nigh on 18 months, but I think a lot of people came into this arena tonight more in hope than expectation. 4 goals was a lot to pull back, particularly against a team like the Sheffield Steelers with their veteran coaching and just their DNA of knowing how to close out big situations. Of course, the Steelers are depleted at the moment, but what a performance from the Cardiff Devils. Paul Sullivan said to me before the game, if there's one team that can do it, it's the Cardiff Devils. And I haven't heard statements like that since John Rawless was presiding over this club. Well, now Todd Kelman, Steve King and Andrew Lord are presiding over this club. And once again, if any team can do it, it's the Cardiff Devils.
Stick around, folks. Stick around.
A truly breathtaking night here at Ice Arena Wales. The only thing it was probably missing was a late goal for the Steelers to just tie things out, or getting close to a 1-goal game, so we'd have a dramatic finale as we await the Steelers Player of the Match award.
I thought Neely was great tonight. Wow was great. He picks up the man of the match, but Neely going down the stretch into the playoffs. I really think he could be a key guy for the Steelers. Thoroughly impressed by the number 59 tonight.
Matthew Warr accepts the Man of the Match award, and my goodness, where do these teams go from here? From the Devils, you've got to imagine that this kind of result will only push them further down the stretch to the success of retaining that Elite League Championship. For the Steelers, perhaps the trophy that they felt that they obviously still had a chance of winning out of the league race now. The playoffs still to come, of course, but this was a big opportunity for the Steelers to find a way to get some silverware this season. And despite the fact it's not a league game, Paul Thompson's got a huge amount of work to do to pick this group of players up, hasn't he?
He's got a huge amount to do, and of course attention now focuses to the playoffs, and attention probably focuses on the medical room and just make sure the Steelers get bodies back for the playoffs. When the Steelers are in the playoffs, they're always dangerous. And like the Devils tonight with the Challenge Cup, they won't want to give out their trophy without a fight. So I think the Steelers now will look at getting guys healthy, look to having a strong finish to the regular season and building for the playoffs. Al, I'm going to sound a little bit outlandish now, but then I have done all season. I think the Cardiff Devils perhaps won the league title tonight, because you will start putting the thought in people's brains that whatever you throw at the Cardiff Devils, however far you are in front of the Cardiff Devils will find a way to get back at you. And it's something that I've grudgingly respected about the Sheffield Steelers for the last 20 years. Now it's the Cardiff Devils that have that mantle. Just when you think that maybe you've beaten them, maybe they're down, they come back. And I think the Cardiff Devils, not only will they go forward to try and defend their Challenge Cup trophy, I think this is a huge psychological advantage against all their rivals in the league. I believe the Cardiff Devils will go on to be crowned back-to-back Elite League champions.
Ben Bounds it is, John, who accepts the Player of the Match award for the Cardiff Devils, and you might think with 7 goals it might have gone to the offensive team, but goodness me, he kept them in it in that first period, and really throughout the game he made some fabulous saves. The Steelers, even though they were missing so much offensive talent, still found ways to get grade A scoring chances. But Ben Bounds was there when his team needed to press forward and needed to leave him exposed sometimes. He was huge for his club tonight, and going back to what you're saying about league championships, he's a vital cog in that too.
Ben Bounds knows how to win. He knows how to win the big games. But you've got to say, the first 30 minutes of that game, Sheffield Steelers had more grade A scoring chances. It could easily be the Sheffield Steelers going through to the Challenge Cup final. All of those Devils players are heroes, but Ben Bounds gave them a platform. He shut the door, and the Cardiff Devils did what they needed to do. They generated the offense. They didn't panic. They scored goals at key times, and they continue the run of every season under the new ownership, every season under Andrew Lord. The Cardiff Devils are going to the Challenge Cup final.
So we're going to get a look at some third period goals now. There were plenty of them.
And plenty of them very early, and Again, this was blue collar. Farina, Morissette recycling that puck, and Paul Crowder, who I thought managed the game very well, particularly in the third period, carried the puck deep, and got the cycle going. He scored a critical goal, and there the Devils were on fire. And this is Asselin at his best. Around the net, where other players would panic, he doesn't. I didn't think he had his best 40 minutes of the season, but he was very good in the third period, capped off by this. And there, you would have thought he might look to bank it in. He didn't. It was a dipsy doodle on the wraparound. Great patience, great hands, and the Devils were away. And for this goal out, look at the speed of release of the pass of Lane Olmer, going short side when everyone, I think, was expecting him to take it round the net. Betnavodio gets separation. What a finish.
And rightfully, at the end of a game where he was awarded man of the match, we'll catch the end of the bouncy wave here for you at home, and we'll leave you with that. And it just leaves for me, Aled Lloyd, alongside John Donovan, to thank you very much for your company here tonight on what was quite an astonishing night of hockey, really. You couldn't quite believe what you were seeing in front of you with the game that was being played. But we thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Nostar.
We have become aware that there's a lot of social exclusion for people who have suffered with homelessness.
And we are going to change that. So we're going to open a coffee shop.
Welcome to Big Moose Coffee Co.
So I'm Jeff, and this is my daughter Chloe, and we're on a mission to create an amazing building. So we spent some time helping feed homeless people on the streets of Cardiff, and we've decided that we need to do more. And by doing that, we've actually decided to build a business which can help employ and take on homeless people who struggle with hope, dignity, and lack of love.
We want to mentor them and help them, give them support, and to show them that everyone's got something to give, and hopefully the coffee shop will be a way that we can show those people that they've all got something, and it's a place of work, but also a place for people to have work experience, to see how a coffee shop runs, to see how a kitchen runs, and just to learn, really. We are working with Llamai, the Young Person's Homeless Charity, and working with their project Learning for Life, and hopefully this building will turn into a place where we can provide work experience and placement for these young people.
And have a lot of fun. The dream is to change lives, genuinely. That's all it's about. It's about just doing stuff that inspires people, so people come into the building and go out and inspired. Inspirational talks, inspirational people, inspirational messages, just lots of love, lots of hope, giving people dignity, giving them a second chance.
And also educating the general public to what homelessness is and what people have been through and how we can help to make that difference.
And we're going to dream big. We are dreaming big. And we're going to achieve something that's going to be amazing. But I think we've loved it.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
The next...
Tough and lots of work, and we've got lots to do in the next 4 weeks.
And we really need support. But once we build this building, once we make it work, then there's no reason why we can't take it anywhere. So we need to make it successful. And by March the 1st, we need to have funding to help us get there. So we really do need your help.
So this is where you guys come in. We are launching a Kickstarter and we need your help. We have some great perks on our Kickstarter and we'd love you to become founding members and help us to grow this space.
As you can see, it's a shell of a building and it needs lots and lots of work.
So we've set ourselves a massive target of raising £20,000 in 7 days. We are buzzing.
How excited are we for the opening day? As long as we open on March the 1st, which is our dream, we're going to do it. We're absolutely going to do it, but we do need help. So please dig in, have a look at the perks, buy some merch, tell your friends, buy some coffee, buy some beer, just buy stuff. Support us, give us your love, give us your belief, and show people of the world that people can do cool stuff. So by you investing in us, we will be investing in people and creating a venue which will inspire and change lives.
We have had an unbelievable amount of help, and I think just going to people and telling them what we're doing, and people are like, actually, we really want to help, and we're getting materials, we're having people like labour for free, we've got plumbers working for free, amazing project manager.
Ian
Ian, the legend Ian Paul.
Makes it happen. Been phenomenal. Been absolutely phenomenal. Thanks for watching our video. Please share it and follow our journey to March the 1st.
And come and see us for a coffee.